No, we have to. You have to pass a test in order to be able to vote. That's the new rule, according to Huffer Billy Paul. So we'll figure out exactly what's on that test. I have no idea what's on the test. I think what's on the test is you ask Huffer Billy Paul about a certain policy or opinion politically, and if you agree with him, then you pass and you're allowed to vote. Yes, well, I was looking forward to the fake news today, Scott. Great. Yeah, I think Huffer Billy Paul wants the United States to be like Venezuela or Cuba or something. You know, where the government can tell you whether you can or cannot vote. I mean, I'm talking about citizens here. I'm not talking about immigrant. I'm talking about me and you, American citizens, have to take a test to vote. You have to pass a test. That's what Huffer Billy Paul says. I don't know. I tried to ask him what should be on the test, but he couldn't really tell me. So, what's up, Volusia? What's up, Yoda, Scott, Caden, Matt, Anthony? Shoot 'em. 556. Squan man. Yes. Paul needs a lot of tests after last night. Well, it started with him saying that he doesn't believe that women should be able to vote because they're too emotional. And then he backtracked on that and said, no, well, I didn't really mean that women shouldn't vote, but we should have to take a test to be able to vote. That old Paul, he's something else, man. Anyway, happy Monday to everybody. How you guys doing? Clemson off this week. No taters. But there are some good ones, though. Miami and Florida State. Now, preseason, that looked like it might be a play-in game for the ACC championship. Of course, we know that's not true now. But nonetheless, it's still a rivalry game. So we're looking forward to that. Or at least I am. I don't know who the hell's going to play. Is that backup quarterback for Florida State? I know he got hurt. Brock Glenn. I don't know that third string guys must be started. I don't know the health status of Brock Glenn. What's up, Jeremy? What's up, TK? Didn't they put Glenn back in? Oh, maybe they did. I don't know. Boy, they're hard to watch. They are hard to watch, man. I know. I can't believe it's week 9 already either. It seems like it just started. They might as well put me in at quarterback. They have a good a chance of winning with me as they do with either one of those other guys. Didn't Brock Glenn throw like 3 interceptions or something? 3 interceptions in the first half, I think. Something like that. 2 bye weeks for Clemson. Well, there's 2 bye weeks for everybody. It's not just Clemson. Every third year, there's 2 bye weeks. It's just the way the calendar falls. I guess because of leap year. Every 4 years. I don't know. I'm not an astronomer or an astrologist. But I am a Libra. I know that. In other news, Deshaun Watson down for the season, probably forever. Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles yesterday. The Cleveland Browns fans cheered as he got hurt and then booed him, which is wild. Here's what I was looking at this morning. Let me pull this up here. I'll get to it. We'll start here in just a second. Let's see here. So we'll talk about some of the games, betting lines on the Lunch Money Show tonight at 10 p.m. But I just pulled this up because there's this tab on DraftKings for future bets for the playoffs. So this is interesting. These are teams that these are odds for who is going to make the 12-team playoff, not win it or anything like that, but make it. Of course, this changes every week with wins and losses and all that kind of thing. But right now, it's Oregon at minus 2,500. It means that they're the most likely, is what that means. Then Ohio State, then Texas, then Georgia, then Penn State, then Miami, then Clemson. What is that? Then Notre Dame. Look at that, minus 250 for the Irish. So I'm assuming what this means is that Vegas, the line makers, believe that Notre Dame is going to win out, which they might. But that's 8. So Tennessee would be the 9th team in. Indiana, the 10th team in. LSU, the 11th team in. And then Texas A&M, the last team in. So the first team out, if it stayed this way, would be Alabama. Now, of course, this is going to change every week between now and when the final selection is made in the conference championship games and all that. So some of these teams that are in this top 12 odds will drop out, and some of these teams like Alabama, Boise State, Iowa State, Kansas State will have a chance to move their way in. The interesting thing that, because a lot of people believe that SMU is going to win the ACC, which, or at least make it to the ACC championship. In order to do so, they would have to win out probably. And if they did make the ACC championship, I think they would get in, but they're at plus 150. They're way down here. So there's not a lot of confidence in the desert about SMU making the playoff or winning the ACC. Now, there's a lot of confidence from a lot of you that they are going to win the ACC. But the people, the mobsters in the desert do not agree with you. And guess what? Neither do I. I agree with the desert people. What you talking? Big game for LSU this weekend. LSU and Texas A&M. That's another good one. Game day is going to Indiana, and I haven't looked it up, so I have no idea when the last time, if ever, that game day went to Indiana. Can somebody confirm or deny or give me an answer on that? Because I don't know. First time, okay. That's what I thought. Alex wants me to get Beck to break up with his girlfriend. I can't. Well, first of all, the only way I could get him to break up with his girlfriend is if I stole his girlfriend. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm married. So I'm not in the market for a girlfriend right now. Plus, I don't need those problems. Yeah. I don't need those problems. You know? All right, let's turn this music off here. Although I'm kind of digging the music this morning, not gonna lie. Where are we at here? All right. Good morning, Scott. How you doing, buddy?
Well, one thing. How about them dogs?
How about them?
Man, what a game. What a crazy game that was.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it.
Neither have I. I thought it was the officiating was just god awful in that game.
Yeah.
And for us to have 3 interceptions and still win is beyond the pale. 2 targeting penalties that weren't targeting at all. And then now the officiating has set up the precedent that if you throw, water bottles on the damn football field, you can get your call reversed.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that either. I mean, we've seen people throw stuff on the field. We saw it happen at Tennessee. That was after the game, though, I think.
Right.
And it's happened before pregame. I think it was 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Clemson went to Columbia, South Carolina, and so the student section in Columbia, South Carolina is right in one of the end zones in the corner. And so the Clemson players were down there warming up and sort of jawing back and forth with the students, and the students started throwing, bottles and all kinds of shit at them. But that wasn't during the game either. So this is, I don't think I've ever seen it happen during. It's happened, I know, in the NFL, like in Green Bay, they'll throw snow on the field and shit when they're mad at the refs,
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that during a game, though.
What I didn't understand was if the refs should have reviewed the play and looked it over and then made their decision. I didn't get that at all.
Well,
why they didn't do that.
Yeah, I think that pretty much took everybody, threw everybody for a loop there. It's not a reviewable play, but I think their stance on it is that they didn't review it. It just took them 10 minutes to discuss it.
After the bottles were thrown. Officiating, something's got to be done with the officiating. I just read this morning the SEC is fining Texas $250,000, I think, for the fans that threw out the bottles and all that, and would like to ban the fans. So how can they do that?
So I agree that it was not passing. I was streaming the game, so I was commenting on this live. So I'm not, Monday morning quarterbacking. So you can go back and watch my stream. I was watching it live. I said immediately when it happened, that was not a pass interference. It should not be a pass interference. But that was the call on the field, and that's not reviewable. So the play should have stood. And I also said whenever they overturned it, first of all, I was shocked when they changed their mind. And I said,
in the middle of the damn field, bottles still being thrown, and decided, okay, let's change the.
So I said during the stream, I was like, they went and got in a huddle, and they were like, hey, you guys want to make it out here alive tonight? All right, let's overturn the call.
Something like that. I think that's exactly what happened. But I have never seen such horrible officiating this season coming from college football. It's not just the Georgia-Texas game. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And one last thing. Who would have thunk that Alabama would be ranked 15th at this time of the season?
Yeah. And who would have thought after that blowout with Clemson week 1 that they would be ranked number 9 right now?
That's right. How about that, man? Good for you.
I mean, and who would have thought that Indiana would be ranked as high as they are, or BYU? I mean, there's a bunch of surprising teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, anyway, right. It was a heart attack game Saturday night. It was and it wasn't. I will say this: the defense finally showed up for Georgia, and I think it was because all these injuries we've been plagued with, some of these players got back on the field, and they showed the hell up. And that was a Georgia.
I think that has something to do with it. I also think that bulletin board material is a real thing, especially in college sports. And all Georgia fans and players heard all week was how Texas was the best team in the country, and they were going to go in there and get the whooping put on them like Alabama did and all that. And they were on a business trip. And meanwhile, if you look on Texas sideline, they've got fucking Joe Rogan's over there and fucking Matthew McConaughey. Like it was just a big party for them. But Georgia was not there to party. They were there to kick ass and take names, and that's exactly what they did.
Absolutely. And I did a fake news story several weeks ago that Matthew McConaughey was going to become the new mascot for Texas. Damn, that's turning out to be real news now. The way he acts when he's out there on the field.
Yeah, I think he would win.
I think he would too.
I thought he wanted to run for mayor. You said governor of Texas?
No, I said, when I did a fake news story about him being the new mascot for Texas.
Oh, because we were talking about this during the game. He's talked. I don't know if it's real or not. He's talked about running for mayor of Austin.
He started kind of dipped his toe into politics here and there.
Yeah,
and said that he might.
I think he would win. What do you think about that?
What's that say?
I think he would win if he ran for mayor. I think he would win.
Yeah, he would. He would certainly win in Austin.
Yeah, Austin's a weird place, and he's a weird guy. So I mean, it's a perfect fit.
It's the city of weird, no doubt about it. It's 20 miles surrounded by reality, Austin is. I love Austin, though. God, I do. I love, that's a great city, great music city, all of that. A great food city, too.
Yeah, I want to go. Slim Shady told me it's a dump, but
certain parts of it may be, but I love the city. I used to go there, go on 6th Street every Saturday night, eat, drink, listen to some great music. So
yeah, I mean the music scene and the comedy scene and the food scene, I go just for those three things.
Oh, I'd love to go. Yeah, and I'd love to go to the Mothership Connection.
Yeah, me too.
Joe Rogan's new comedy club. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Well, listen, if you're ready.
Yeah, here we go. Here's your introduction, sir. Of course.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Breaking news from the Pigskin Pete YouTube channel.
It's time for Pete Podcast Fake News, and away we go. The state of Texas has closed their borders not only from the south, but the east, west, and north because of the defeat handed to them by the Georgia Bulldogs this past Saturday. Matthew McConaughey is in mourning in a Buddhist temple in Austin, lying in his own urine and fecal matter. He's so distraught that he can only say one, all right. The whole state is in mourning, said Governor Abbott, and we need the time to heal up, so no one is allowed in our state for the next several weeks. Meanwhile, Georgia is celebrating with a huge parade and party plan in and around Mercedes-Benz Stadium at the end of the season. All Bulldog fans are invited to attend with beer, steaks, and spleefs passed out. Kirby Smart stated it's going to be a hootenanny, and I plan to get really high. Alabama loses to Tennessee, and Kellen DeBoer is nowhere to be found. He was last seen at a Knoxville bar, downing about 20 shots of 151 grain alcohol and stumbling and projectile vomiting out of the establishment. After that, no one has seen him since Saturday night. And something is wrong with Kirby Smart. According to those close to Smart, he was seen recently at a 7-Eleven staring at the icy machine for hours and then leaving. At the office, the secretary caught him sending a fax with a stamp on it. Although not of Jewish faith, he told all players that were Jews that Tupac Shakur's holiday is coming up and they can practice and celebrate. Some of the African-American players said, damn, that's our holiday too, and missed practice. He recently went to the Taco Bell to pay his phone bill. Clemson coach Dabo Swinney said that Kirby called him and spoke gibberish, where the only words that Dabo could understand was physicality. Now, friends and family are wondering whether to have an intervention with him or wait to send him to the nervous hospital after the football season. This story is to be continued. And Steve Spurrier talking shit once again. He wonders what's the issue with the offense of Florida. He thinks that Lagway, the quarterback now for the Gators, is the answer. Spurrier admitted that he told Napier to start playing 12 men on the field for the refs, only catch that penalty every once in a while. Billy Napier denies any conversation with Spurrier. Old ball coach let out a massive fart during the presser and cleared the room with a stinky green cloud of shit. And Pete Podcast Fake News is being brought to you by Buster Hyman's Flip Phone Dispensary. Are you old and can't type worth of crap? You don't need a lesson in new technology? Then come and get yourself a 1998 brick phone from Buster for only $20. Now, only can you make calls to use it. Not only can you make calls, but you can use it as a weapon to throw at someone's head. And to hell with the 5G network nonsense. You'll be on Buster Hyman's own cell phone network, which is a TV antenna hanging over Buster's garage door. So you miss a few calls. Do you really give a shit? And come in today and get a free prostate massage at Buster Hyman's Flip Phone Dispensary, Aaron Hernandez Highway in Old Lyme, Connecticut. And Hell's Angels Bar in Goose Creek, now with their new Roadkill Cafe. Dead squirrels, possums, armadillos, deer, and other animals, except skunks, are welcome to use at the new Roadkill Cafe. Chef and President Dick Wrench will process it, smoke it, grill it, fry it up, or serve it raw, sushi style, all to your desire. The smell from the cafe will guide you to Hell's Angels Bar, right before Stumpy's Firecracker Stand in Goose Creek. A skeleton walks into a bar and orders a beer and a mop. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Scott Kerr reporting.
Great job, Scott. I think I know a couple people that have Buster's phone service. At least 2 people.
Well, I like going there just for the prostate massage.
Right.
Great job, Scott, again.
It's just like straight hand with a latex glove, or do they have some sort of apparatus?
No, they just they do it raw. They do it clean. Do it. They wash their hands. They'll wash their hands with Dawn soap before they do it. So. Oh man, you know what? I know y'all probably didn't get it, but I had to use about talking about Kirby Smart. I had to use an old saying. People would say, that person belongs to the Nervous Hospital. And I had to use
the Nervous Hospital
way of talking about Kirby.
My mom used to work at a Nervous Hospital when I was a kid.
No kidding.
Yeah, she did. And she said
Did she call it the Nervous Hospital?
No, it was. I don't. I guess you would call it an insane asylum. I don't know. It was for crazy people.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Funny Farm.
Yeah, the Funny Farm. And she used to. She said, you know how people say that when there's a full moon, people act weird.
Yeah.
She would say that like the patients would go crazy at night during a full moon. I mean, I don't know. I was like, she swore by it.
I believe that. I've heard that before too. I've heard that you in an emergency room that during a full moon it's just packed.
Well, I know I think that is true as far as pregnancy goes. I think more kids are born on full moons than not.
Well, we just had a what did it call it? Super moon? Yeah, just last week. When it was the closest moon this year to get to the Earth, is what it was.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm still of the opinion that we should blow up the moon, though. It causes women's periods.
Yeah. Get rid of that thing.
We don't need that.
No, we don't need that. We don't need any of that shit. By the way, Pete, I went and voted. It's the first day of early vote in South Carolina.
Uh-oh.
And the line was packed.
Where'd you go?
I voted early off Miles Jamison Road.
Okay.
And they literally didn't have enough voting machines there. And they admitted it. Because the line was all the way outside, up to the highway at Miles Jamison.
Wow!
And stayed that way when I was walking out. Now I got there too, 8:30 in the morning, and there was a line.
Are you in Dorchester County?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's why. I don't know where I would go. I'd like to early vote too because I don't feel like fighting the crowd on November the 5th.
Well, damn it! I'll tell you something. You're going to fight a crowd in early voting. It looks that way anyway.
No.
I mean, I'm blown away by the crowd.
I think it's going to be worse on election day, though.
And the one woman who's going to check me in, she all of a sudden just stops and she's got a mask on. I can't understand what she's saying. I said, "Man, what are you saying?" "Well, we got to stop. We got to stop. We got too many people here."
She had a mask on, you say? Oh, we know who she's voting for.
Yeah, and I'm still going, okay, all right, I said, do I need to move back or what, you're fine, okay, all right. But the other lady, she walked away and she said, "I'm sorry." I said, "Well, that's all right." I said, I can understand. You guys weren't maybe expecting this kind of crowd. And they said, "Absolutely not."
Well,
we're asking for more voting machines.
Hufferbilly Paw thinks that you should not be able to early vote.
What the hell? Why?
Listen to me, sir. We're trying to figure out the same. I'm still trying to figure out why he thinks that you should have to take a test to be able to vote.
Well, he'd write the test, and then anyone that doesn't think exactly the same way he does, then should
Right. That's exactly what it is. He goes, I said, Paul, what's on the test? What's going to be on the test? He goes, well, I don't know. I mean, they just need to be informed about the issues and not vote based on their emotions. I said, but literally every voter votes on their emotions.
Yes.
Right.
Sounds like he's not a big fan of democracy.
Including him.
Well, look, you know what? A lot of people that are younger most likely don't know the issues, and they'll still go out and vote. They'll just go on whatever their friend is saying and all that. So, yeah, I mean, there's some people that may not be, informed in voting, but they have the right to vote.
I don't know that necessarily is tied to being younger. I think there's a lot of people that are just dumb.
Well, there's a lot of dumbasses. You're right. There's a lot of dumbasses in every age.
Being dumb doesn't preclude you from voting.
No,
should it?
Exactly. It should not. And also, listen to this.
No, the only thing is, I agree with the voter ID law. Okay, I do agree with that.
Okay, that's fine. That's different, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that should be that you have to have a voter ID to vote.
Well, you have to have an ID to do anything. I mean, but
let me tell you what they were doing though, Pete, which just blew my mind. They were allowing handicapped people, and I've never seen this. They had a curbside area where they brought out a mobile machine and they were able to vote out of their car.
I don't see anything wrong with that if they're disabled.
No, I thought it was great. And what they had done is they had set up several more handicapped parking places so people could go up and show up. But it was kind of like you could drive through and vote.
Damn, I want to do that. Maybe I should just get a handicap sticker for my car. That way I don't have to wait in line. I can just drive right up and vote and drive out.
Well, Holly's got one if you want to borrow one.
Yeah. That sounds like a good idea.
If I would have known that, I would have done the same damn thing. Because, I mean, it was chilly this morning and standing in line, and I had a short sleeve shirt on. But, hey, man, I was just, like, blown away at the amount of people that were voting this early.
Now, I asked Paul, I said, and I was joking. I said, do you think the people that are the members of the Clemson Life program should be able to vote? And he said no. He said no.
He and he's not as bad as oh God, I can't think of his name out of Florida. Real name Dana Bash. You know what I'm talking about? Celine Driver.
Oh yeah. No, he's not. He's not Dana. Dana Bash is the CNN anchor, I think.
Yeah, that's right. But Celine. He bitches about everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's
where the wind blew.
Well, that's kind of his thing.
That's sort of his whole MO. Is he complains?
Yeah, he's an old curmudgeon. Is what he is.
Else.
Well, I'm old, but I don't think I'm a curmudgeon.
No, Celine's a curmudgeon. I like Celine. I'm not trying to trash him or anything, but he's definitely a curmudgeon.
Like him, but good God, man bitches and gripes a lot.
Yeah. But Lucia, are you voting?
I did. I sent mine in already.
When did you send it in?
I sent it in a couple weeks ago. It takes a while to get there.
So you send like a paper ballot in?
No, what you do is you request it via email, and then you can either do that online or you can go to the consulate and do it. I just went to the consulate. It's not easier, but whatever. And then you can bring it back there and fax it. You have to in Florida, you have to fax it.
Do you get some sort of confirmation that they received it?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they give you the confirmation. Go ahead.
So I just want to, just one more. So you have to do it well in advance. Like if I tried to do it now, it wouldn't get there in time, or at least I wouldn't be able to be sure that it would.
So I'm assuming when they see a vote come in from China, they just automatically give it to Harris.
I wouldn't assume that.
I'm just
true that people who have been outside the country are less likely to vote for Republicans. Yes.
I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm kind of kidding, but
no. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, so it's different. Obviously, the rules for voting from abroad are different for every state, just like the rules for voting from the states are different from every state. So I just had to do the Florida thing. They send you a thing, and you send it to the county clerk. I had to fax it to the Volusia County clerk, and then they handle it.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I can't wait till this damn election's over with. I'm so sick of it.
I am too.
Oh my God, it's just,
I'm so fucking tired of it. I mean, all other shit, all personal preferences and biases and thoughts. And
you can't even, like, you try to watch a football game for 3 hours to get your mind off of your problems and the world's problems, and you're just inundated with the political ads. Every time you go on YouTube, it's all political ads. It's just everything on social media is all about political shit. It's just like, I cannot wait for this shit to be over with.
It's so brutal. It's so bad.
It is brutal. And I don't know what, look, I understand why they do it, the political ads. They spend a lot, I mean, millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars each campaign does on these political ads. Have you ever watched a political ad and changed your vote because of it?
No.
No.
But here's the thing. It's possible that I might see not for president, but it's possible that I might see a political ad in a primary for a state government election or something, and then want to learn more about one or more of the people or something like that.
Yeah.
Not for the general 2 weeks.
I feel like the vast majority.
Who are they? Who are these fucking undecided voters?
Yeah, the vast majority of people that vote, locally and pay attention to local elections, they're just voting a straight blue or red ticket. They don't care who's running. I mean, that's the only reason that Lindsey Graham's still the senator of South Carolina, because nobody in the state likes him. I haven't met a single person that likes him.
And he's got sugar in his loafers too, Pete. Did you know that?
Yeah. Well, well, I'm about to say something. I'm getting me kicked off of here. Yeah. So.
That in a lot of countries that they don't have this long of an election cycle. Like, they choose their candidate 2 months before the election, and then they just do it, and then it's fucking over.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to have this fucking 2.5 year, it's just out of control, man. It's really, I hate it.
I wonder if Slim agrees with what Hufferbilly says. He says some of the most extreme shit I've ever heard. Again, he started off with the women shouldn't be able to vote.
Well, okay.
So he wants to go back to 1919.
You don't think that experiment's gone on long enough and it's proven to be an epic failure?
I mean,
I'm just saying, man.
No, I don't think that's true at all.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I know, but he wasn't. And they asked him why. He said because they're too emotional and they're stupid. And then then they pressed him on that. We pressed him on that last night, and then he backtracked. He goes, "Well, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be able to vote, but they should have to take a test." I'm like, what?
Was he about 8 beers in or something there?
I don't know, man.
Sometimes Hufferbilly Paul gets into the beer or whatever he's drinking, and then he gets a little crazy.
Well, it's no shock that he's single. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I'll say this. Mankind has had much worse ideas than letting women vote.
Technically true. Yes.
Of course.
Absolutely true. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, like building nuclear bombs. That was a terrible idea.
Yeah. Well.
Not really. They prevented a war. What are you talking about?
They didn't prevent the war. They ended it.
In favor of that.
No, they also prevented the Cold War from not being cold.
Right.
Right. Well. Anyway, we all know where we all stand on that. So.
Well, how about them dogs?
Man.
Yeah. Oh, a big game this week for you, Slim. Well, we thought it was going to be a big game, but it's not now. Outside of the state,
it's kind of taken some of the luster off of it. I'm having a hard time getting up for it.
Yeah, you have the same problem that we had a few weeks ago when we played Florida State. There's just no really excitement behind. Well, there's not excitement at all from the Florida State fan base, and can you blame them? I mean, I would be dejected if I were them too.
Well, wouldn't you like to have made a bet earlier this season and said, I am betting that the worst ACC team is going to be Florida State this year?
Yeah, that's.
I mean, a team that goes from first to worst.
Not even just the worst in the ACC. They're like bottom 3 nationally.
They're horrible. And of course, I remember True Seminole, or I think it was him, before the season saying the absolute floor was 10-2, and I was like, oh, all right. But all the way through that, through that nuclear meltdown through the basement.
Another nail biter for Miami, though.
Yeah, that was a tight game. That was tighter than Dixie.
That was an entertaining game. It was entertaining. I don't know how entertaining it was for Slim, but it was entertaining for me to watch.
I mean, once they took that 14-point lead, I was pretty good then. I was like, yeah, okay. Even if they bring it within 7, they can't stop our offense.
Yeah, but you didn't get that 14-point lead till late in the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah, it was sometime in the fourth quarter. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It looks like Miami and Clemson both have some fixing to do on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah. Well, hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, we'll get the second best corner on the team back, and he's starting to rotate in some of the younger guys, and one of them in particular is actually playing real well, Zaquan Patterson. So we'll see if he gets some more snaps as the season goes on. But I also think from here on, I mean, unless something weird happens in the Florida State game, that's probably going to be the closest game left on the schedule. I mean, after them, we got Duke, Georgia. Yeah, we got Duke, Georgia Tech after them, and then Wake Forest and Syracuse.
Yeah, I think you could lose. It's Georgia Tech and or Syracuse.
I think it's funny that Duke is.
Stop it.
Lead, man. You're down by almost 30 to Cal.
Okay.
I think
it's
you realize that you only have a win over one team with a winning record, right?
No, I'm talking about Clemson right now.
Well, you got no room to talk.
No, I'm not talking. I can talk about whatever I want to. I'm not talking about Clemson right now. I'm talking about Miami. I said I reckon Miami could lose to Georgia Tech and or Syracuse.
He's right. Clemson's got a win over one ranked team, but we don't have close games with bad teams like you do.
Yeah, you do.
No, we don't.
And actually, name the bad team that I've had a close game with.
Cal sucks, man.
Cal got beat by Florida State.
Cal is a bad hang on. Cal's a bad offense. That's a top 10 defense.
All right, but they lost to Florida State. That's how bad they are.
They did. Okay, and Notre Dame is still a good football team. They lost to NIU.
Well, NIU's not bad.
Alabama's not a great football team, and Georgia lost to them. Shit happens.
All right, but okay.
6-1 teams. Cal
But it wasn't.
3-4.
But Slim, it wasn't just one close game. It was 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clemson hadn't had any outside of they lost to Georgia, but in the ACC, not any close. I mean, they won every game by at least 3 scores.
Okay.
Yeah.
Against bad football teams.
Yeah,
Right,
blew them
so
out.
Listen, I mean, I'm not talking about Clemson. I'm just saying that I reckon that Miami could lose one of those games. I don't think they necessarily will. I wouldn't bet against them in any individual game, but I think
I wouldn't either.
How surprised are you guys? How surprised are you, and in the chat too, that 3 of the top 10 offenses in the nation are ACC teams?
How about that?
How about that?
A little bit more. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I thought Cam Moore was going to play this good.
Who'd have thought that South Carolina would beat Oklahoma?
Oh, I picked them to beat them. Yeah. Oklahoma's. I mean, you know what Oklahoma's offense is like? It's like Iowa from last year.
I mean, here's the thing. Does South Carolina have an argument to be one of the best defensive lines in the country?
Yeah, one of the best. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
They've been playing lights out as of recent. They sure have.
Yeah, they're for real, defensively. But they have no offense either.
Leaves something to be desired.
Cal in yards per game is 44th in total defense.
South Carolina's offense against Oklahoma only scored 10 points. The defense outscored the offense. God damn.
I mean, if Miami wins every game they're favored in, which will probably be every game until the playoffs, they'll be fine.
Is Miami favored against Clemson if we play this weekend?
They probably would be, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think they would be.
I wouldn't bet on that.
I think they would be favored, but it wouldn't be by a lot.
Mm-mm.
Even as bad as our defense has played, we have we're 21st in the country in total defense. You're 44th. You're barely in the top 50.
I'm looking at it right now. Cal is 44th, who you said was top 10 somehow. Clemson is...
No, you picked a particular stat where they're 44th. I can pick a particular stat where Miami.
Are you talking about overall? I can pull it up.
Yards per game.
No. I just posted overall
it yesterday on Twitter.
All right, what's the stat then that you're looking at? I'm looking at yards per game when we talk about defense.
Well,
total.
I look at total defense.
Total defense.
Right. In terms of what, though? Yards per game.
Total defense.
Total defense.
What the fuck does that? That's not that's points.
No,
Every aspect of your defense.
it takes in all of the.
If you look in NCAAfootball.com, it shows a total
right
defense
now
ranking.
Defense, ranking it by yards per game.
No,
it's yards defense.
It's total defense. That's accumulation of yards per game,
Listen to
points
me.
per game. That's everything
it's
totaled up.
yes. Look, it's on the screen right now. Total defense, right here. Let me find. Let's see where.
I'm looking at it right now. I would love to send you a link.
Well, I'm looking at it on the screen.
I am too.
So what are they ranking? It's the same thing. So where's Cal?
I'm still going. Hold on.
They're 44th. I'll
Yeah, they're 44th.
Where they are now, I don't know. Where they were when we played them.
All right.
That was the last
Yeah,
time I looked
he's
at
right. They're 44th in total defense right now.
Now I want you to look at the far right column and tell me what this is ranked by.
That's not the only stat that they take into consideration, though.
Okay, but that's literally the ranking. Yes, it is, because if you look at the far right column, that is literally exactly what it's ranked by. Look at it carefully.
Well, and some people go by scoring defense, which Clemson isn't great either. They've given up a lot of points.
No.
Well, look, Clemson's in the 50s. So.
Yeah, cool. Look at that.
Yeah, you're trying to cherry pick a stat. I'm looking at everything overall.
Look at the far right column. That's yards per game. It says YPG at the top. Go to the top.
Yeah, I understand. I see what you're looking at. Miami.
But that's not what it's.
What are you looking at?
Total defense. That's not what it's. It's all. Yards per game, yards per play, off team
points per game.
That's
all that. That's all. It's all combined. It's not one.
How do you do that?
Stat.
How do you make a stat that's all of the stats? You can't make that.
Well, Jesus Christ, yes, you can.
How? Explain to me how.
Well, there's a formula. There's some sort of.
Lucia, look at the ranking. It's got it laid out all right there.
Are you looking at? Okay, so hold on.
I'm looking at total defense on NCAA.com, stats, football, FBS current team.
Okay,
that's what I'm looking at.
Stop. Look at the far right column. That's what it's ranked by. Do we agree on that?
No, it's not. No, it's not. If it was,
it's in descending order. Look at it. Look, number one. Go up to.
He is right that it is in perfect order as far as yards per game, as far as the ranking. He is right about that.
Literally, that's the yards per game rankings. Come on, man.
I don't believe that's all this. I think every
What you believe, you're wrong, bro. Like that's literally.
No, I'm not wrong, bro.
You're looking at the yards per game rankings. What we're literally looking at is the yards.
Okay,
per game.
once again, that's not the stat I was going by.
I think it's a total defense stat.
I am right. Thank you, shoot 'em. I am 100% right.
All right. Well, this is the total defense ranking. So he is, look, anyway, Clemson's 53rd in total defense, which is absolutely atrocious. Now, if it is based on yards per game, like Volusia says, then that makes sense because, again, they give up 200 yards, 250 yards of offense every fourth quarter because they're playing the water boy instead of their starters.
That's correct.
But
I'm not saying this is a ranking of who's the best defense and who's the worst. I mean, it's you should take it into account.
Yes, you're cherry picking one stat of it where you look decent.
Look at this.
I can do the same thing.
Cherry picking one stat. Okay, cool.
This is shocking. Louisville is 72nd in total defense. Florida State is 75th. Both worst.
South Carolina. South Carolina outranks Georgia in defense. They're 16th. Georgia's 19th.
Yeah. Anywho. But let's do offense. How about that?
Yeah, let's do offense. That's a good idea.
I believe Miami's in the top 2 in total offense.
I believe you're the first, aren't you? We'll find out in a second.
Man, I'm going to say we can find out.
Where's fucking total?
Why is where is total offense?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's down. Oh, wait. Yeah, there it is.
I don't see it.
Miami's number 1, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know they have the number 1 scoring offense. That might be why they're number 1.
7.
Yeah, so I would call a shootout in that game.
I don't think it will be, though. I mean, I do think we're going to play each other, right? And I don't think it's going to be a shootout.
Well, a lot of people believe that it's not because you. So this is the argument that Uncle Lou was making yesterday. He thinks it's going to be Miami and SMU.
That's no.
And
unless SMU loses, he's right.
Well, Well, first of all, hold on now, because if Clemson wins out, Miami wins out, SMU wins out, then they're all undefeated in the ACC because none of those teams play each other. So then you get to tiebreaker situations, which what is the first? There's no head-to-head because none of them play each other. So what's after that? I don't even know. Here's total loss.
Well, Miami's ranked number 1 in total offense.
Yeah, Clemson's 7, Pitt's 8.
Yeah.
Where is SMU here?
SMU is, I just told them, didn't I?
31st.
Yeah.
Right. So
Georgia's not even in the top 50.
Before I say
Actually, I lied. Clemson and so if it came down to Clemson and SMU, they do have a common opponent. They might even have 2. But
if we beat all the common opponents, if everyone's undefeated.
Yeah, that's right. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. But they both play Pitt. So if one of those two, let's say that Clemson loses to Pitt, SMU doesn't, then SMU gets ahead of Clemson and vice versa.
Sure.
Georgia's 44th.
I mean, honestly, it may be in your benefit to not even play in the game. I mean, if we're just being honest about it.
Yeah, well, not necessarily because you want to get the bye. But the thing is, like,
you don't get the bye, fine. You end up based off where Clemson's ranked now, you would end up probably the 5th seed. So you'll play a group of 5 team to start off with, which is the next best thing to a bye.
Yeah. So, but it also depends. It's not just, it's going to depend on what's going on with the other teams in the country. Also, it's going to depend. Let's say that Clemson did lose to Pitt. There's on the road in November. Yeah. It's a difference between losing in overtime by 3 points or losing by 3 scores. Then they might not put you in based on the fact that you got blown out.
In the playoff, you mean?
No, in the regular season.
You mean they might not put you in the playoff, not the ACC championship game?
Well, you definitely wouldn't be in the ACC championship game because SMU would have a better record. But I'm talking about to get an at-large bid in the playoff. Yeah.
Right.
All right. If you had to bet right now, who would be in the playoffs? Who do you think are the teams?
I mean, I think it is possible that 3 ACC teams get in if they all win out.
It's going to be hard here because.
But I don't think it's going to happen.
SMU is way down the list. Now, they could work their way up week by week, but they're way down the list outside of the top 15 right now as far as the odds of making the playoffs.
I don't think they're going to go win out anyway. So.
And Miami and Clemson are almost virtually the same. Miami's minus 400, Clemson's minus 300 in the odds.
Yeah. I think Miami and Clemson, it's very possible that Miami and Clemson both make it. I don't know. Is Indiana going to make the play? I don't think so, dude.
I don't know, man. The only game I think they might lose is Ohio State. They got to go to Ohio State next month.
Right. Their quarterback's out against Washington this weekend. I'm going to say that.
Here's you an interesting what if. What if Army and Navy both have 12 wins?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we discussed.
Oh, yeah, really.
Yeah, we discussed this.
Is if they have to play obviously in the regular season
because they can play each other in the conference title game because they're both in the same conference, and then the Army Navy game is the next week.
Well, I think if that happened, then that's your Army Navy game. This your Army Navy game is the conference championship.
That's what Lou was saying is that if one of those teams makes the playoffs after the conference championship game, if it's those two in it, they would cancel the regular season game, which happens the week after.
Yeah, which makes sense.
But
here's the problem, is that if Boise State wins out, they're going to the playoff over either one of those teams.
Well, Boise State has to play UNLV this week. That's an elimination game.
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't know if because they both have one loss. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, right.
Road for them.
Yeah. I think that's true.
You think Notre Dame will make it to the playoffs?
Yes.
Yes.
And will win out.
They've got to play both Army and Navy. I believe they lose one of those. So
that's fine, but they'll still be in.
Yeah. So they'll be 10-2 because I think they're going to beat Southern Cal because Southern Cal's fucking terrible. And then outside of that, I don't know who's left on their schedule that even has a chance. I guess I don't. So yeah, probably 10-2. I mean, 11-1, 10-2 at the worst.
They're going.
Now, it would be hilarious if they lost to both Army and Navy.
Oh, yeah.
Would be hilarious. And I think that's for people that don't want Notre Dame in the playoffs. That's what you're hate watching that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you agree to these 8 teams in the playoffs right now? Oregon, Georgia, Penn State, Ohio State, Miami, Tennessee, Clemson, and Texas.
Now, when you say right now, you mean like if it started right now, or like projecting what they'll?
Yeah, I mean, if and we're not putting them in what seed they would be or anything like that.
Right. But what I'm saying is we're not looking at their future schedule and guessing the rest of their games.
He's just saying that if the playoffs started tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. If the playoffs started tomorrow, I mean, it's pretty clear it would be, Miami.
Yeah.
So Uncle Lou's saying that SMU and Miami in the ACC championship. Well, the mobsters in the desert disagree with you because they are way down the odds list of making the playoffs.
All those
Let's talk about what the actual tiebreakers are if all 3 teams go undefeated, right? Because what the answer is, and I'm looking for it, what the answer is going to be is it's going to be the college football playoff poll ranking, in which case SMU's out. The only way SMU gets in is if Miami or Clemson lose a game.
I don't know, man. Like everybody's trying to predict what the playoff committee is going to do. And none of us really know, but I will say this. I think they're going to try and avoid as much controversy as possible after all the backlash they caught last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as far as SMU goes, here's the thing. They really only have 2 games they could possibly lose maybe on their schedule remaining. One of them is they host Pitt. So they get Pitt at home. And then they go on the road to Duke. Now, nobody's talking about Duke's undefeated. Now, I understand why.
Okay, yeah.
I understand why, but they're still undefeated.
No, they have a loss to Georgia Tech.
Yeah, they lost. They're 5-1.
Are they? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, they're both them and Syracuse are 1 loss.
Right.
Right.
There's a lot of one-loss teams in all the conferences.
Sure. So here's the answer to the question. If there's a 3 or more team tie, or either 2-team tie, if everyone's undefeated, if Miami, Clemson, and Syracuse are undefeated in the ACC, obviously the Georgia game has nothing to do with it, then the first 5 tiebreakers are all moot. And the 6th tiebreaker is the tied team with the highest ranking by the team rating score metric provided by Sports Source Analytics following the conclusion of regular season games.
Oh, so basically what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, what is that?
I'm about to say that sounds like hey, we're going to pull whatever bullshit out of our ass that we want.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit.
They've hired a firm that does statistics, and then the top 2 ranked teams is what it's going to be.
So
like,
what?
it's like,
Yeah.
Like, what do they call it? FP. The fuck is it? The rating.
The power index?
The power index.
Yeah, the FPI is yes.
Yeah. Well, guess what? According to ESPN's power index, USC is top 15 team. So you can shove power rankings up your ass.
So
Whatever. It's that's what the ACC is doing.
Hey, I got a hot
prostate massage at Buster Hyman's phone dispensary.
I have a hot take here.
Yeah.
I have a hot take here. We're not going to need any tiebreakers. It's going to take care of itself.
It probably will.
Yeah.
what about strength of schedule?
Sure. I don't think all 3 teams are winning out. No.
Like whichever team has the stronger conference schedule.
Well, I don't know about SMU, but I know Miami's strength of schedule is higher than Clemson's.
But that's not what it is. Like I'm looking at it right now. It's a team rating score metric provided by Sports Source Analytics, which isn't gonna. That has nothing to do with strength of conference schedule. It has nothing to do with that.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you had to pick who's going to be in the ACC playoff, who would it be right now?
Well, hold on
Say
now.
again?
Go back to the strength of schedule thing. What they do is strength of record, not schedule.
Yeah, that's Pac-12
So
did.
if you have the same record, but say Clemson has a better strength of record,
Exactly.
in other words, they played tougher teams and have beat them worse or whatever, I think that's how that works.
Wait, are we talking about the college football playoff or the ACC title game right now?
Well, the ACC title game is only based on record.
No, that has nothing to do with it. The ACC title game, if all 3 teams are 8-0,
I'm talking about the playoffs.
Oh, then yeah, you're
That's
right.
that.
Yeah.
That's the
In that case, yes.
the playoffs.
Well, now they're supposed to take into consideration strength of record, but the playoff committee has been very consistent when they talk about that. It seems like when they're usually, like in the 4-team playoff, when they're trying to pick between, for that last spot, and there's 3 teams that could possibly get it. Every year they use a different metric for why they put it. The bottom line is they put in who they want to be in there.
Right.
Right. The metric they use is they put in the team that's going to make them the most money.
That's why we
That's
have
the metric.
Whereas in the BCS, there was no committee. They took these polls and these computer models
It was
and
better, frankly.
that's who's in.
Yeah, it was the BCS was the average of 3 different polls. The AP, the
Well, do you
coaches, and the
guys
BCS
know
poll.
that? Do you guys know that
it's going to be Clemson, Miami.
the playoff-
I believe in the ACC.
the playoff committee has been almost perfectly in line with what would have been the BCS every single year in the playoffs? I mean, there's been a couple of outliers, but most of the time they agree with what the BCS would have said. So it's not really any different.
Must be true.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's not true either because the BCS would absolutely knock teams out that lost their conference championship game.
Now, the BCS last year probably would have had Florida State in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think they actually would, yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
Georgia wouldn't have made it in 21. Notre Dame wouldn't have made it in 20. TCU wouldn't have made it in, what was that, 21 or 22? Whichever one it was.
Alabama made it in 2017.
I know all the people in the chat.
Probably not.
I've been hearing this Clemson's not making the ACC championship game. But you guys have reverted because you were so wrong about their overall record preseason because you were all saying they're going to win 7 or 8 games. So now you know that's not going to happen. So now you're just praying they're going to lose a game and not make the ACC championship so you can make yourself be right about something, I guess. But you've been wrong. I'm not trusting anybody who picked Clemson to win 7 or 8 games this year. I can't take you seriously.
I'm going to say I did it, but whatever.
We'll lose.
Ain't the first prediction I got wrong.
Wow. I just think
And I mean, you say that, Pete. Once again, Pete, the season's not over. You still have to go to Blacksburg.
Sure. If we if we lose an ACC game, then we definitely aren't guaranteed anything. We'd still likely make the playoff, but maybe not, and we still likely make the ACC championship, but maybe not. But I just don't think Miami, Clemson, and I don't think both Miami and SMU are going undefeated from here on out. I think they could both lose.
It would be an upset if Miami loses at this point because the back half, the what's left of the schedule, I don't really see a close game. Yes, Duke's 5-1. I get it.
Not Duke. They're 6-1, but yes, but no, you're not losing it.
Or yeah, 6-1. And now, granted, the 2 losses that I did pick, I got one wrong, obviously, because I picked us to lose to Louisville.
Right.
But I also said I'm worried about Syracuse at the end of the year. And it's not because of Syracuse. It's more because of Miami.
I totally agree with you. I feel this. That's exactly what I think, too. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Miami's been playing with fire. I mean, they've won. That's all that matters, but they've been playing with fire.
Oh, I agree.
It's
I
certainly
just
the
think college football predictor from collegefootballnetwork.com for the SEC. It has Tennessee and Missouri in the playoff.
What?
right now.
I know.
Missouri's not making the playoffs. That's
11-1.
take that predictor and if it's on your phone, smash your phone. Missouri.
No, it's not on my phone. I don't need me to go to Buster Hyman's phone dispensary to pick up a brick.
Missouri is not a playoff team in that. Right? They're not.
Right, but they are.
Yeah, but to the point that we've been making, is the committee going to leave an 11-win Missouri out?
They're going to lose. They're going to lose a couple more games.
Missouri plays Bama next week, and that's going to be the end of that.
They're going to lose at least 2 more games.
Probably, yeah.
Bama, no, they'll probably lose.
Everybody in here, including myself, picked Missouri to lose more games than they have this far into the year.
Well, I had Mizzou 9-3, so.
All right, Bulldog JC, you picked him to go 9-3. You're going to be wrong about that too. Well, Uncle Luke picked him to go 8-4. He's really wrong. He said maybe even 7-5 because they've had a worse record every year for the past 3 years. So I said, so you think that means they're just going to this year they're going to go another game back? He said, yeah, why not? I mean, that's the trend. So
well, that's why we don't rely on trends.
And, yeah, I had Clemson going 10-2.
I mean, how could Clemson possibly win 10 or 11 games without using the transfer portal?
They're going to.
Dabo was right.
But here's the thing. To your point, Slim, Miami will be favored in every game from here on out, assuming they win. Clemson will be too. And so will SMU. SMU schedules at Duke, Pitt at home, BC at home, at Virginia, and Cal at home. They're favored in all those games.
I was wrong about a lot of teams, but not Clemson, though. That's the team I know the most about. Colby, does Lou and Pete have a bet on the Clemson will lose to a new ACC team? Well, we only play one of the new ACC teams this year, and that's Stanford. We already beat them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think we had a bet on that, no. We might have had a bet. I don't know. It's hard. I make so many damn bets. It's hard for me to keep up. We might have had a bet about who would have had a better record, SMU or Clemson. That might be what you're talking about. Because he's been beating the SMU drums since the summertime. Which I'll give him credit. He was right about that. I thought SMU was going to be terrible.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured they would need a year, moving up from Group of 5. But
They're pretty good.
I'll give them credit since they made that. Now you look at the first couple of games of the year, and I was like, yeah, they ain't gonna do very well.
No, we didn't have. Hold on now.
Switch, and they've looked a lot better since then.
Someone pulled the tape. We didn't have a bet on whether SMU would win their first ACC game. That's not the bet we had. I wouldn't make that bet. You said that SMU would have a better record than Clemson, or finish higher in the ACC than Clemson, which is the same thing, I guess.
If we both go 8-0, then what?
I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even think we made a wager on it. I think we just made a friendly bet and maybe figure it out later. I don't remember.
Right.
Somebody can go back at the Lunch Money show leading into the season and pull up the tape. I wouldn't make a bet on whether SMU is going to win a game without knowing who they're going to play, Lou. I'm stupid, but I'm not that stupid.
All this is making me I'm going to have to go to the nervous hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a funny way of.
In fact, I got to go. Enjoyed it. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Have a good day. Bye.
It's good.
All right. All right. Somebody set a timer for 3 minutes. Okay. All right.
Caden.
Here we go.
Good morning, Pete. How are you?
I'm amazing and fantastic. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
Good. Volusia, VicTube, and my personal favorite, Slim Shady.
Hello, Caden.
Yeah, I thought I was your favorite, Caden.
Well, you thought wrong, Vic.
Yep, I guess so.
Well, congratulations to Miami for going 7-0 and for one heck of a game against Miami. Or, well, not against Miami, against Louisville, excuse me.
Yeah. Louisville against Miami plus a few, but yeah.
Kate.
Pete.
Plus a few. Hey, we covered the spread.
No, I mean.
But anyways, Slim, let's get to the bread and butter of this conversation. Pete, here's some bad news for you, buddy. Clemson is losing to Pitt. Unfortunately, I'm about to break it to you in Volusia. Your team's losing.
Here's the thing, Caden. You pick against Clemson every week, no matter who they're playing, and you're wrong 90% of the time.
More than 90, but yeah.
99% of the time.
I was right about y'all losing to Georgia.
Yeah, right. So you got 1 out of 7 right. Congratulations.
I said that too, though. I didn't say we'd beat Georgia.
I hope you don't bet, because you'd be broke as fuck if you did.
No, because you were talking about, Clay Klubnik is this great quarterback.
And guess what? He is.
Blah, 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 blah.
Guess what? He is playing great.
Guess what?
So I was right. You were wrong. What's next?
Limb from limb.
First of all,
didn't say we were going to beat Georgia. Pete, do you remember saying we were going to beat Georgia?
no. I picked Georgia to win. I picked Clemson to cover the spread, but I was wrong about that.
That's what I said too.
I don't really know many Clemson fans, if any at all, that picked Clemson to beat Georgia before the game.
A bunch of former players did, but I mean, come
on. It was hilarious. I wanted to give you my playoff prediction thoughts. Who are going to be in the top 12?
Yeah, let me guess. Ohio State number 1.
No, actually, I had Georgia at number 1 for that heck of a game. That performance against
So Ohio
Texas.
State number 2.
I had Miami at number 3.
See,
How can you have Ohio State at at number 2 when you lost to Oregon. So where's Oregon?
Well, I'm saying since we lost to Oregon, but here's the thing, Vic. We'll win the rest of the season out, beat Oregon in the Big Ten title game, and that'll be it.
Right, but you haven't
there.
done that yet.
I mean, if you're going by the trend so far this year, Oregon should lose this weekend.
Yeah, you can't have. But
That number 1 spot is not a great place to be.
They
You
are not.
have Oregon.
Slim, I'm saying at least Miami's going to be number 3 in my number 3 in my AP poll because Cam Ward is one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC, and clearly he shows that he's way better than Cade Klubnik.
Well, it's a good thing that there's other players on a team other than just the 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, right.
It's not like they're going out there playing one-on-one basketball. Cam Ward against Cade Klubnik.
Right.
Well, anyways, I got Miami, Pitt. I've got BYU, Iowa State coming up.
Hold on now.
That
Did you
was a
just
good
say?
performance.
Hold on now. You think Miami 3 and Pitt 4?
What? Huh?
It?
That's what he said.
They're undefeated.
Sir, that's not even. It's not possible for Miami to be 3 and Pitt 4.
It's where is Oregon?
He's
Well, Oregon's going to lose this week. Well, Oregon's going to lose this weekend, and then the Big Ten title game against Ohio State.
Where do you?
So there's my thing.
Where do you have Oregon ranked?
Number 13.
Outside looking in. Wow.
oh god. All right, Caden.
It's undefeated, though.
Now, see, this is why we don't take you. This is why you're on a time limit. This is why we can't take you seriously.
Well, I have to ask. I think the Big Ten's getting 3 teams in. What are the 3 teams from the Big Ten that are getting in?
Ohio State, Oregon.
Well, it's going to be probably either Penn State or
What about
I don't know.
Indiana? Yeah, I'm gonna go with Indiana.
You know what? I was gonna say. You know what's more likely than
And-
Oregon finishing at 13? Ohio State finishing at 13 after they lose to Indiana at home.
Yeah.
And Penn State, 3 losses. Hell, you might be outside the top 15 by then.
Wow.
Okay, let me just give this clear fact to you, Pete. Our defense is going to step up against Nebraska, and nobody is going to be on the track of stopping
Against
us after
Nebraska,
this week.
okay. Nobody's picking Nebraska to beat you, but there are 3 other teams that can, or 2 other teams that can.
Didn't Nebraska just get a 50 burger hung on them?
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yep.
Did. By Indiana. Yeah.
And as far as Indiana goes, they ain't beating us. Purdue ain't beating us. Penn State ain't beating us. Nor Michigan's beating us. We're beating every single one of them.
I
You said
agree.
you were going to beat Oregon, though. What happened to that?
You could lose to Penn State, and you could lose to Indiana.
Yeah, because I said we're going to beat Oregon in the Big Ten title game. Okay?
Oh, right. But you said you were going to beat Oregon in the regular season, too, because I remember a couple weeks ago you saying Ohio State was going to go, what is it now, 17-0 or whatever the fuck?
15-0.
16.
You know what I'm praying for? I don't even pray, but I'm praying now. I'm starting today. I'm praying to little baby Jesus in the manger that Clemson and Ohio State play in the playoffs.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Right.
Probably not likely.
Yeah, because Ohio State probably won't be. You're right. They probably won't be there.
And then I've got Army. I've got either Army or Navy, BYU, Iowa State, and maybe someone else in the Big 12. Maybe stepping up in the playoffs a little bit.
Okay.
Iowa State.
Iowa State. Thank you, Slim.
I would take Boise State over Army or Navy right now.
And I'll tell you, Pete, Pitt and Miami are way better than Clemson on the spread points. I'll be honest with you.
Pitt and Miami. What are you talking?
Would be a 13-point favorite over Pitt.
He doesn't even know what he's talking about. I just pulled up the Vegas odds for the playoffs, and Pitt's not even on the list. Are they? Hold on, let me look.
You're going to lose to Indiana because that defense is fucking good. And then you're going to lose to Penn State
Here you go.
because that quarterback is good.
Here's the top 20 and the odds to make the playoffs. Let's see how far down. No, this is more than 20. This is like 30. How far down we have to go to find Pitt? I still don't see him. Holy shit, they're not even on it. Oh, there they are. Plus 900. About 15 spots lower than Clemson. More than 15 spots.
I mean, to Cade's point, though, if you lose to them, that can change drastically.
It can.
But he said
Which
that
you got Clemson losing to Pitt.
he said that Pitt and Miami are both higher in the point spread, which whatever that means, than Clemson, and that's just not true.
Okay, who's going to be favored?
Well, because since y'all took that first L, struggling for like 4 weeks, and then now, then about coming up soon, you're going to face Pitt.
Struggled for 4 weeks.
Lose.
Who do they struggle against? Tell me who they struggled against.
He's secretly a Georgia fan. Don't mind him.
He just says things, but he doesn't even know what he's talking about. Who did they struggle against?
Let's see. Y'all had a little bit of a bad. Let's see.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I know I've seen him a couple times. Wait.
Okay.
Clearly not. They beat every team by at least 3 scores.
Really terrible against Georgia. Let's be clear about that.
We got that part. And then?
Week 2, you couldn't even open it up in the first half against Appalachian State.
They scored 56 points in the first half.
State.
Dummy.
56 points at halftime. What the fuck?
That was the second half. You started lighting up.
Oh, it was the first half. And when's it was the first half. And guess what else?
It was 35-0 at the end of the first quarter.
Has Ohio State scored 56 points against anybody? No. In one half? No, they haven't.
Why do you still let this guy on?
Because I hate myself.
All right.
You shouldn't hate yourself, Pete. You should hate yourself.
Yeah, Pete, you shouldn't hate yourself.
And don't hate me. You're the one who always gets upset when I come on here.
I don't get up.
Cade's just passing along information. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah. You know what? Paul might have been right. Everybody shouldn't be able to vote. Oh, God. Who are you voting for in the election, Caden?
I got Donald Trump.
Oh,
I got
damn.
Bernie Moreno, J.D. Vance.
I'm shocked. Wow, shocking. Wow, never could have fucking guessed that.
Is Volusia the dumbest Clemson fan on here? Because I'm thinking so.
No, he's just a communist. I mean, that's stupid adjacent, but
No, I can agree with you, Slim. I can agree with you.
Yeah, I agree with Michael. You're not that bad today. Normally, you come on your little wrestling promo thing, and it's really annoying. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you've been at least, even though you've been wrong about everything you've said, at least you've been calm and somewhat intelligible.
No, that's not the right word. That's not the right word.
I'm about to say that it's taking it a bit far.
That's not it.
I was going to talk about the Georgia game. Man, they got to correct some shit on offense. The only person that caught some balls was fucking Arian Smith, and he never catches. He fucking drops passes. That was the only dude that caught some balls. And
hey, at least now we all know.
Listen, Carson Beck needs to quit throwing interceptions because this makes his 8th or 10th interception of the year.
Yeah, he looks like Cade Klubnik from last year.
He's an
He looks like Cam Ward from last year.
Yeah, he's a turnover machine. Yeah.
Now, we did learn one interesting thing from that game. If you pitch a big enough fit and throw shit on the field, you can get any call you don't like overturned.
Right.
Yeah, fuck those Texas fans. They're despicable, just like the Cowboy fans. They're winning the same. That's why they're nauseating, disgusting.
No, and this isn't. I've got no interest in this game, so it doesn't really matter. I think when they overturned it, they got it right because, and this is just my opinion.
Yeah, but you can't overturn stuff that's.
Hang on, let me finish. When there's mutual contact back and forth, in my opinion, you let the shit go.
Yeah, it wasn't a penalty.
More fighting back and forth.
There never should have been a flag thrown, but it was.
Yeah, it's irrefutable. You cannot overturn a flag when it's irrefutable.
Well,
and now.
You mean what's
Yeah, you can now because the fans are fucking inbred motherfuckers.
That's not the reason that you don't normally wouldn't get that call overturned. And irrefutable has nothing to do with it. The point is that normally when there's a pass interference call made by one back judge, or side judge, there's not a stoppage in play, and so the clock has to wind. They get the ball spotted. They don't have time to have a conversation after the call's already made. What's weird about it is because they can throw the flag and then have a conference and talk about it and then decide to pick up the flag and say it's no penalty. What they usually won't or can't do is throw the flag. The guy, he gets on the PA system, announces the penalty. They respot the ball. After they've done that, I've never seen them take away.
Yeah, I don't think it ever has happened.
Right. And so look, it's not pass interference. It wasn't even fucking close. It was a disgraceful and atrocious call, but it's not the only time there's been a disgraceful and atrocious call in football. And so where the concern comes in is now the delay happened because of the debris on the field from the fans. And then during that time, what I feel like probably happened is the refs were chit-chatting and they kind of took a peek at the video.
Yeah, they did. They looked at the Jumbotron replay. That's what they did.
Right. So now if I was a Georgia fan, I'd be upset about that. But I wouldn't be trying to fucking pretend that it's actually pass interference, because when you do that, you look like an idiot.
So at the end of the day, it didn't matter because Georgia won anyway. You know what the funniest part about that whole thing was?
Those fans, I mean, they showed their true colors. This is why Texas fans are the worst fans. All Texas fans from professional to college. And that's why I hope Vanderbilt just fucking blows them out the water, just like Alabama. I hope that happens. I hope.
Yeah, I know everyone's like, oh my God, look what happened. Texas is overrated. I totally disagree with all of that talk. I still think they're one of the top 3 teams in the country. They're not losing to fucking Vanderbilt.
I know. I hope it would happen. I hope they pull that Alabama on their ass. Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
And I mean, you're sitting here dogging Texas fans like they're the only crowd in the history of football to have a negative reaction to a bullshit call.
No,
right.
No, Tennessee fans are one of them. Florida fans. I mean, there's a bunch of them.
Every fan of every sport does this. Come on, grow up.
Yeah.
Yes. Defense.
This isn't even the first time this has happened. Didn't this happen in a Browns game in the early 2000s?
Yes, it did, Slim. Yes, it did.
Yeah, it happens all the time in an NFL. I mean, you get to throwing the snowballs on the field.
The Browns are happy that motherfucker Deshaun Watson's out. They still got to pay him a shit ton of money.
I saw that play. Good.
I watched the game, of course.
He is. I think he's done. I mean, for good.
He's probably done for his career. His career is over with, probably.
Probably.
Well, he'll be back because they can't cut him.
Well, he's not going to play though.
Way too big of a cap hit. The earliest they can.
Yeah, they're not going to pay him to go home.
Yeah, but they can't take the cap hit. The earliest time they can cut him at.
That's why they've been trading
next season. That's the only. I mean, they cannot. It is completely infeasible to cut him.
That's why they've been trading so many players, and that's why they're trying to get rid of Nick Chubbs. They got rid of Amari Cooper. They've been getting rid of draft capital and trade market so they can equate for when they try. If they can get rid of him, they can bite that bullet.
Right, but the bullet is too big.
Yeah, it is. I don't see how this will work.
After the 2025 season. After the 2025 season, it's still really bad, but it's not like untenable.
Yeah, we saw that Austin. The Browns fans cheering that he got hurt, which is
the Browns.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how much they're cheering going forward with the fighting Jameis Winston's.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, they put Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
And he was horrible. He threw 2 picks immediately.
Look, that team's bad. I think you could put Tom Brady in there in his heyday. That still would be bad.
Because I remember when DTR played for the Browns last year, and he was horrible. So.
Right. No, I watched the game. I'm a Bengals fan. I watched the game. He came in and he threw 2 picks immediately.
Right. So
Watson was doing okay. Watson was like 12 for 15 in the game.
Yeah, Winston is better than that guy.
We put in Thompson Robinson and we blew the fuck out of him.
Winston's not great, but he's not terrible.
Yeah.
No, he's not terrible. Winston's gonna move the ball, but I mean, he's kind of like Brett Favre. You have to take the bad with the good.
Yeah, he'll throw a pick. He'll throw a pick.
Right. We'll probably see Winston starting.
Well, yeah, he's definitely the starter from here on out.
So.
Now, can somebody please explain to me how in the blue fuck the Chiefs keep winning?
Dude, I don't know. They got some.
Because of the defense.
I mean, you want to talk about following a fucking script?
Yeah, I know. The whole
shit going on.
the theories about
If they didn't have Steve Spagnuolo, if they did not have Steve Spagnuolo, I don't think they'd be winning all this. Because look, Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, you want to. You want to talk about some bullshit calls that have gone somebody's way this year?
yeah.
Good God!
That 4th and 16 pass interference when the Bengals had them beat. It was game over. And they waited 5 seconds for that flag.
And they called the flag on somebody that was 4 yards away.
I know the NFL rigged people are out in full force right now about the Chiefs.
Hey, and listen, I like to make fun of them as much as the next person. They got an argument at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the moment, yes.
They beat the Niners fairly fair and square. The Niners are beat up, you know.
The Niners just don't have a good defense because they got rid of Steve Wilkes, who was actually a good coordinator. Shanahan's the problem.
The Niners don't have any receivers left, and Ayuk just tore his ACL, and Kittle's hurt, and McCaffrey's been hurt, and Samuel's hurt. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah, they're depleted.
Old. It's because they're old. They're old.
Okay.
Okay, Pete, did you see the Miami game?
You talking about the college game?
Yeah.
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 Okay. But was that a forward pass or was that a fumble? Because
I tweeted about it already. It was an incomplete pass. I don't know, and the argument that people were making was, well, the contact to his arm was made before his arm started going forward, but that doesn't matter. It's when the ball comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the ball didn't come.
See how you're making the argument when the ball ended up 10 yards, 15 yards down the field.
Oh no! Listen, his arm was already going forward before the ball came out. That's pretty clear. It's not even disputable. There's a perfect shot of it. It's like an up close shot of it.
I tend to agree.
So
but, you know, all these Twitter reps.
Right. The ball can go 10 yards down the field and still be a fumble, but it has to be out. Like, he has to be pushing it with like an open hand or like his wrist or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if it's a fumble, it's not likely to end up that far down the field.
Right.
Y'all hear where they're trying to make the Super Bowl go international? You hear that bullshit?
well, they've been doing that.
Yeah, but why you want to make it international when you have it in the country?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Money.
Yeah, well, I know it's the money, but I mean, most people would like to go to their hometown and see a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Rather than,
Exactly.
I couldn't go overseas.
Well, Jacksonville fans have got screwed. Don't they play like 3 or 4 games? Like, they play almost like half of their fucking schedule over there. It seems like the Jaguars.
They played 2 games.
2 still. That's 2 home games.
Yeah. No. The one against Chicago was a Chicago home game.
Oh, it was. Well, I know there was rumors of moving the franchise out of Jacksonville to London, so they'd be the London Jaguars.
They're not doing that. They just signed a new deal for a huge stadium. They're going to be playing in a different stadium next year. The next 2 years, it might be in Gainesville, because they're building them a brand new stadium in Jacksonville.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not moving to London.
Now, I haven't heard Uncle Lou talk about this yet, but I would love to hear his opinion on from now on the Georgia Tech game when it's in Atlanta is going to be a neutral site game.
No, not every. Not every year.
Not every.
Listen, this is my opinion on what they're going to do. I think the city of Atlanta is going to end up tearing down Bobby Dodd, and Tech's just going to be playing at Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a possibility.
I guess it's a possibility. I don't know though.
I mean, they're not trying to keep. I mean, have you ever been to Bobby Dodd? It's not like they're trying to do any maintenance on the fucking place.
Yeah, they're not trying to. Well,
I hate the fucking stadium. I mean, I think it's a cool stadium, but I hate playing there because I used to watch Clemson get our ass kicked there when I was in college. Yeah, but I think it's a cool.
No, but here's my question. Here's my question to Slim here. Slim, what do you think about my playoff prediction? I just want to get your honest thought about.
It's dumb as fuck. It's dumb. That's what it is. I'll answer for him. You've got.
Hey, let Slim answer, Pete. Slim can answer his own questions. All right. Jeez.
Hey, as long as Miami's in there, I don't care about the rest.
And let me just say, Twitter is just full of some dummies in there. Twitter. That's why I don't got Twitter, because there's so many Twitter reps.
That may be the smartest thing.
I was about to say that is the smartest thing he's ever said.
It's full of some 5-star dummies.
5-star dummies.
Twitter is really full of dummies.
I hate the neutral site games. I wish we'd just play people at their home or away. I just don't like that shit.
Well, everybody feels that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's just it's aggravating. I mean, who wants to play in a Mercedes-Benz Stadium unless it's for a bowl game?
Well, again,
I mean,
it's about
I think like many big cities, Georgia Tech's fixing to go the same way. Of they're just going to be sharing a stadium with pro team there.
Well, I mean, it's in Atlanta, so it's not really so it kind of is a home game. It's not really a neutral site because it's in Atlanta. So
It's
the
like a
only person
mile
that came
away.
over there that's popular is a wrestler, and I mean, that's it. That's the only thing that came popular. There's a wrestler named Roman Reigns. That's it.
in Atlanta. I mean, Miami plays at Hard Rock, and they seem to be, they seem to be okay with that. So
Pitt does it too.
yeah, Pitt does.
Yeah.
play
yeah. And
nice.
have you seen the Pitt games, the home games?
Yeah.
It's there's 30 people there.
Weary as fuck. They should build
It's
their own
Talk is
stadium.
Pitt and 29 of his friends.
Yeah.
I know Hard Rock's already sold out for the Florida State game.
Yeah, we got Talk is Pitt, John Waffle, and a few other people. Yeah.
Miami fan base proving me right how fair weather they are. This fucking team's good. Oh, they're going to show up now.
It's fun to watch Miami play, though. It's fun to watch y'all play. I mean, y'all keep it close. I mean, I wouldn't like to play like that, but it's fun to watch y'all play and then just take away at the end just to like keep them reeling in. Y'all think y'all got us. Y'all think y'all got us, and then that one touchdown to seal the deal. That's
It's Cal. It was like 5, but yeah.
Yeah, and Cal's the only one that I really kind of had a problem with. I mean, their defense is very turnover happy. They were leading the country in interceptions. I don't know if they still are, but I mean, Virginia Tech. I'm not surprised. It's a rivalry game, and Louisville is a good offense.
Yeah.
Louisville's good.
I mean, there was a bunch of predictions of that game being exactly what it was, a shootout going into that game.
I mean, Louisville's a top 25 offense, I think, but they're not. I mean, they're okay. Their defense is atrocious.
No,
yeah, they're deep. Well, and we didn't have a problem at all moving the ball offensively.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we thought. Yeah.
Now, Uncle Lou had possibly Louisville might beating possibly Clemson. Do y'all think that's possible?
Well, Uncle Lou is just fishing for losses on Clemson's schedule, so he's just throwing out the line there and hoping that they lose to him.
Right.
There's only 3 games I see a possibility of Clemson losing, and I'm not even sure that they do. One is
Pitt, Virginia Tech, and South Carolina.
Yeah. I mean, honestly.
Right.
I mean, Pitt, because Pitt always plays you tough, and it seems like they've kind of settled into that spoiler role, over the past 10 years or so. Virginia Tech, I mean, Blacksburg's always a tough place to play.
Well, out of all those games, I'm if there's one game I'm a little bit nervous about, it's at Pitt. I know South Carolina is, everyone's high on South Carolina, but they can't score. I mean, Clemson, it might be a low-scoring game because that's how good their defense is. It might be like a 24-7, but I don't know if South Carolina can score more than 10 points on Clemson's defense.
Right.
And I agree with that. I think points are going to be hard to come by in that game.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, you did let Virginia score 31. So
yeah, we let them score like 20 points in the fourth quarter with our backup defense in there. I mean, that game, they scored 10 points in the first quarter. Then they didn't score again until the fourth quarter.
Right.
Well, and that's why I feel that's why I feel Miami has a good shot against you, and I think Clemson would struggle in the postseason because you're going to need that depth defensively, especially at that point of the year.
Yeah.
And you get to the end of the year, and you got a couple of key injuries on defense that could sink your season.
That's not what's happening. Dabo's putting in 3rd and 4th string freshmen at the end of the games to get him reps and just sort of see what he's got.
To keep the first string healthy for the same situation that you're talking about.
Because they got on the field.
Well, okay, but if your 3rd string can let Virginia put up 31, that is a problem.
Right. So like one corner got burnt on one route, like a 4th string true freshman corner got burnt on one route, and so that was one touchdown.
Volusia.
Oh, well, okay, and Volusia, I can make the same argument for Cal because their entire offense that game was about half a dozen explosive plays, and that was it.
Sure. But I'm saying is that guy, Brandon Strozier, is never going to be playing in any playoff game. I don't care if the first 4 corners on the team get hurt. Like, this is not an issue.
Well,
Depth is an issue when it comes to the end of the season.
Depth is an issue for everybody. Like, Clemson's got plenty of depth on defense, just because a
secondary suspect. Secondary is questionable.
It's not.
Yeah,
Georgia secondary was questionable. That's how they beat you, because they got you in the secondary.
No, they beat us because we couldn't. Carson Beck.
No, they beat you because they got you in the secondary, passing over your head.
There was very few over the head passes,
and then they got the run game broke down with with Nick Frazier, whatever his name is, Frazier.
Nate Frazier, yeah.
A lot of perimeter passes in that game, and Georgia took advantage of some poor linebacker play. Also, Clemson's defense got tired because we couldn't get a goddamn first down for 3 fucking quarters.
Yeah, because we passed the ball every play.
You couldn't get a first down for 3.
And Moffa's dirty for knocking out. I can't remember. Was it Walker?
Michael.
Yeah, Michael Williams. He took out Michael Williams and chop blocked his ass. That was dirty.
We're still on that.
I don't forget.
I mean, okay, and Tennessee's dirty for diving at Arkansas starting quarterback's knee.
Yeah, that was dirty too. That was some dirty shit. That was some dirt bag shit right there for Tennessee. What he did, I saw that. I remember that. He took him out, and they still won the game.
Well, Slim does make a good point. Clemson's got some holes to fill in their defensive roster because if they can get burned easy by Miami's receiving core with Cam Ward.
We're talking about a 4th-string true freshman cornerback with a minute and a half left in a 4-score game.
Okay, you keep saying that as if Stanford wasn't moving the ball at will on your starting defense.
Right, that was not a secondary issue. Yeah, Stanford, yes, they did.
Slim, you do make a good point there.
You have defensive problems, Volusia. It is what it is.
I think
they do.
Miami's got some defensive problems, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yes, I said our secondary was the weak point of our defense, and it is.
I think
you can't run on our defense though. Phil Maffa's not going to get shit on us.
Who is it?
Phil Maffa.
He'll do.
Teams can't run on us. What are you talking about? Our run defense is elite.
Miami's run defense is that good.
I do worry that if Clemson and Miami play, that they're going to take the same approach they did against Georgia.
And
try and throw the ball around.
And try to throw the ball 100 times.
No, don't do that.
Oh.
No, y'all better stick to running the ball. What y'all do? Smash mouth.
Well, and to Pete's point, sometimes coaches just get in those moods.
Well,
I mean, I've seen Andy Reid make that same mistake.
Well, they do the whole, take what the defense gives you, and they're going to pass it based on the formation of the defense. But in my mind, you still have to keep the defense honest, and the threat of the run still has to be there. Even if you're not getting 6 and 7 yards of carry, I don't care if you're getting 2 or 3. They still have to respect the fact that you're going to do it. Otherwise, they're just going to tee off on you.
Yeah. So, and you don't want to let Tyler Barron and Reuben Bain and Simeon Barrow pin their ears back.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened in the Georgia game.
Line is better. And I think Phil Maffa is one of the best running backs definitely in the ACC in the country. But I think that you're right. I mean, I agree with y'all. I think we do have to commit to the run, even if it doesn't work out in the first quarter. But I think it'll be fine.
If they come out and throw the ball 3 times in the first series, I'm going to fucking lose my mind.
Yeah, they're going to try.
Slim, I would love to see that Pete losing his mind if they play Miami in the first quarter and they get.
If you want to see me lose my mind, just go watch.
Get a ringside seat of that. If Miami and Clemson play in the ACC title, I may come do a watch along with Pete.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to see Pete lose his mind the day after that game.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We've done pretty well against Miami over the last few years, man.
Hey, well, Miami could pull it off this year against Clemson, and they could beat them in the ACC title game if they do.
Well, we beat Clemson last year.
They did.
Yeah.
Well, true.
Yeah.
They did.
But this is going to be way more fun.
With a quarterback that completed 35% of his passes in that game.
We had the fumbleitis in that game. Deeply unfortunate.
But you know, what's been really making me chuckle, Slim, is Michigan losing 3 games already. Oh my God!
Well, I'm sure you're happy about that.
Oh, and I'll say this, literally, I've been chuckling about the Michigan Illinois loss. Oh my gosh, it's Michigan.
Hey, did you ever go and have that conversation with Chip Kelly and Ryan Day?
I told Vic to if I did.
Yeah, I thought it was the defense that you.
Well, I remember him saying Chip Kelly. I remember that, but yeah, you're right. It was a defense too.
Yeah, he said he yelled at Chip Kelly, and he also said that he told Chip Kelly that he owes me $200.
What?
Yeah, and I told the defense that they really need to start picking up on more frustrating the quarterback more, and they need to start covering, do more man-to-man coverage.
I actually thought your defense played pretty well in that Oregon game, all things considered.
Well, here's the thing. That's what I'm saying. The thing is, we need to bring it more on defense early, finish them off early, and then get them set in position. It's not that hard to have a number one defense. It's not that hard to play.
It's not that hard to have a number one defense.
Georgia did it for 3 years in a row, and nobody stopped them.
Did you go yell at Will Howard for sliding when the clock was at all zeros?
Yeah, did you give Will Howard a wedgie?
I did, Slim.
Did you snap his bare bottom in the locker room with a wet towel?
Ooh.
No, I punched him in the gut.
Oh.
But I'll tell you what, though. I just wish Ohio State would bring more, would do more man-to-man coverage on defense, because they really need to start doing more man-to-man coverage. We cannot be doing zone coverage that often if we're playing a good team. We need to play man-to-man coverage on defense. Bring more pressure on the quarterback so it gives him less time to throw the ball.
So after they lose to Indiana by playing man-to-man, should they go back to zone?
That's not my point, Pete. My point is that they need to step up more physicality on defense.
Yeah.
Finish people off early and then end them off early.
Well, physicality has been a problem with Ohio State since Ryan Day became the coach.
And that's why I've been giving Coach Day tips for the last 2 years.
Oh, okay. That's cool. At least he's got somebody in his ear to help him.
You know, and Miami's got Ray Lewis and Ed Reed to go over there and knock those kids into shape, so I give them credit.
I haven't seen them run around. I have seen Michael Irvin.
Oh, Michael Irvin's been all over the place.
Everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Michael Irvin, hey, is that man back on coke the way he's acting?
I think he is.
He's amped up.
He's on something.
That booger sugar.
He's on something.
Fucking man. He's on.
He's got his hair growing out.
I thought Miami hired him on the coaching staff.
No,
Mario just doesn't have a problem with.
No, Michael Irvin is a glorified cheerleader on the sideline.
Yeah, he's the worst. He is so obnoxious when he pulls for teams. I'm telling you, it's that Cowboy fan in him. God, he's obnoxious. God,
I mean, but at the same time, though, I think it's a good thing, for former players of your program to come back, because they're sitting there watching the game, they're seeing things. So you've got free advice from great former players.
I like Michael Irvin. He's hilarious. I think he's funny.
He is. He's
hilarious, but man, when it comes to the Cowboys, he's fucking obnoxious.
Huh.
He really is.
Wow.
But here's the thing too. Speaking of John, who are you a fan of? I'm just curious to know.
Who's John?
Whoever, the one with the J in his name.
Oh, you mean Jarrett?
Jared.
Yeah.
Fuck. I didn't know my name was John. What the fuck?
Well, because you have a J, you're.
Everybody with a J is named John, I guess.
Hey, just roll with it. Who are you a fan of, John?
Yeah, John. Who's your team?
My name's John. How you doing?
He's a Georgia fan.
Yeah, I'm a Georgia fan. Go
Well,
Dogs.
if you need any introduction, this is Kate the Man, the most evil OSU fan on the planet.
No, you're not. There's way worse.
No,
than you. I know.
No, there's more. I've seen more obnoxious Ohio State fans than you. You're not obnoxious. You're just annoying.
now I get
You're just
I
like
get-
a gnat that needs to be swat at.
I get Alabama and Tennessee as a rivalry game. But are we to the point Tennessee's going to storm the field every time they beat Alabama now?
Probably, most likely.
I guess so. They've done it twice in a row now.
I mean, I get it in 22. You hadn't beat Alabama in 17, 18 years, whatever it was. I get that. But
did they
act like we've won this game before?
Did they have armed guards guarding the goalpost this time?
No, they did, but they still tore them down anyway.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Why don't they get those
tore down
Clemson's got
both
retractable goalposts.
Yeah, they tore them both down.
I mean, spend the extra couple $1,000s and make it retractable. You don't have to worry about it.
Hey, man, listen, that's
Yeah, that's
already
a
a
smart idea, Pete.
$250,000 goalpost, okay?
Hey, that's not a bad idea, Pete. You should contact the University of Tennessee Athletics to buy some retractable goalposts.
Yeah, I'm not a Tennessee fan. I could care less.
The river again.
All I know is I got into the wrong line of business because if you can charge $250,000 for a goalpost, I can get $40 worth of PVC and build you a goalpost.
So, did they throw them in the river this time, or?
They probably didn't let him take it out of the stadium this time.
No, actually, I think they started cutting the thing up in the stadium.
What did they have, a Sawzall out there or something?
I guess.
Yeah, they did.
Oh my god, there's some hillbillies, some New Jack hillbillies.
Yeah, cut it up in little pieces and sell it on eBay.
Yeah.
I saw that on Twitter. Somebody said talking about cut it up and sell it and donate the money to North Carolina.
Is there a way to take down the goalpost without breaking it, or?
No.
Okay. Okay. There's not. It's all one thing.
I mean, you could get a tractor, I guess, and pull it out of the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Pull the concrete and all.
But you need some heavy equipment for that. The people aren't doing that.
No.
Hey, you need a big, good-sized tractor to pull it out.
Oh,
I don't know. Never underestimate the ingenuity of 100,000 Hilljacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
true.
about to say.
Well, the thing is, when you tear down a goalpost like that, people got seriously injured. I mean, it falls on people because, there's a million people out there. It's a liability for the school legally.
yeah.
Oh yeah, there were people getting. I saw a post about it. People getting loaded into ambulances. I guess some people got trampled.
Yeah, and then they sue the university, and
Well, and apparently it was the recruits that started it. From what Tennessee fans on Twitter were saying, they had like 60 odd recruits there, and they stormed the field, and that just started a chain reaction.
Right. They might just have to put a fence around the field.
or they could just put a retractable goalpost that immediately when the game hits 0, it just folds over.
I was gonna say,
I think they should get a deal with Home Depot and put some shrubbery around the field.
and put it
Yeah, they should, Slim. That's not a bad idea either.
You mean like Georgia?
top.
Well, no, they're going to do it. Doesn't South Carolina use Lowe's so they can become like a
Yeah,
rival
South
thing with
Carolina
South
uses
Carolina?
Lowe's.
Yeah.
Yeah, put a
So
fence.
Tennessee can go with Home Depot when you turn it into a bigger rivalry.
Yeah, they got the same colors and everything.
Mm-hmm. But I
We'll turn
will
it into
say that,
sponsorship rivalries in college football.
but I was going to say, can I point out one point about the neutral site games?
Sure, go ahead.
And that's that, and I know people can give me hate about this, but neutral site games, like, for me, I feel like they'd be pretty interesting because it's like 50-50 ground for, like, both fan bases, whoever plays.
Yeah.
It was...
Well, you're alone. I
think
think
it'd be
you might be the
awesome,
only person I've heard
personally.
ever say that because nobody wants to watch college sports on a neutral site.
Yeah, only games should.
Because too many of our home games are either just blowouts or straight out just sucker punch games.
Well, nobody has a problem with Texas Oklahoma playing in the Cotton Bowl.
I mean,
A good point.
I would rather see Texas and Oklahoma do home and home. So I disagree.
Yeah, I want Georgia and Florida to do home and home.
Yeah.
Which I think is supposed to be headed in that direction.
And even if you want to grandfather in those ones like the Red River rivalry and the largest cocktail party, like those have been going on for so long. I understand if you want to keep those, but these opening week games, you know, the Chick-fil-A kickoff game and the whatever the fuck the one is in the AT&T Stadium, like, all over the country, that's just, there's no need for that.
Well, the kickoff classic has been a thing for 70 years, so I don't mind that one. And now obviously it hasn't always been Chick-fil-A, but like if you have one kickoff classic game, I don't really have a problem with that. But like Tech and Clemson playing in Mercedes-Benz to start the season a couple of years ago, why?
Why are we doing this?
Because I mean, Lou has already explained this. It's because Georgia Tech's athletic department is broke, so
they're taking $10 million to play there. That's why.
Yeah, so they sell home games to Arthur Blank so that they can.
$10 million is what they're getting for that.
Well, I think they're fixing to sell every home game to Arthur Blank. I think Bobby Dodd's going to go away, but we'll see.
Bobby Dodd Stadium is pretty much going to be no more and no more. I'm just going to be straight up honest.
I guess they're just going to wait for it to fall down. And it's on its way to doing that now. So
I'm about to say, yeah.
It's about halfway there.
I mean, really, that's how the Orange Bowl was. Like, the city didn't want to maintain it, so they just let it get as bad as they could without it falling down and going, okay, y'all go.
Yeah, they just wait for it to be condemned by the city, and then they have no choice.
Which, I mean, you look at what happened. Obviously, okay, the plans were obviously in the works to build the Marlins a stadium. They needed somewhere to do it.
You know, if I was a Georgia Tech fan, I'd probably rather play in Mercedes-Benz than Bobby Dodd.
Yeah.
I'm going to switch topics, but NFL, man, it just ain't been the same for the past 2 or 3 years now. I think it has to do with like rules and quarterback play. Quarterback play has sucked because there ain't been no Tom Brady, there ain't been no Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson ain't good no more. Well, he looked good this past week, but I mean, there ain't no Roethlisberger. Aaron Rodgers is old. I mean, it ain't the same. It's got to be. We were lucky to have these quarterbacks back in the day, a couple 5 to 10 years ago. And now, I mean, with these rules and stupid rules, it just makes it just fucking boring.
I think that it's not that there aren't good quarterbacks, although it might not
I mean, have you seen these quarterbacks? The best quarterbacks in the world are allegedly. Listen.
I'll tell you what it is if I can talk for a second.
Okay, my bad.
But yeah, but so there are good quarterbacks. I think there might be something to it that a lot of the younger quarterbacks haven't panned out as quickly as they might have in the past. But that might not be the case. I think what it is, it's just an ebb and flow sort of thing with the defense and the offenses. You know, you'll have offense heavy years and then or sort of eras, stretches, I should say, and then the defenses will catch up, and then the offenses will catch up to that, and the defenses catch up to that. I mean, we'll go back to getting, a lot of 40-some to 30-some games in a couple of years. I mean, I wouldn't freak out.
Well, there's no doubt that the rule changes have a lot to do with the difference between then and now.
Yeah,
I mean, in favor of the offense. Most of the rule changes in the last 20 years in the NFL have been in favor of the offense.
Yeah, and I mean, but still, even that, I mean, the best quarterback still looks like shit. I mean, and it still don't even, to me, the quarterback play doesn't even look that good like it was 5-10 years ago, in my opinion. This is me. I just don't think it does in the NFL. You have plethora of talent back in the day, half a decade ago.
Well, I'll tell you what, college football's not been the same. They need to really step down on the defensive rules about hard hits. College football was always about hard hitting games. Like, come on, let the defense deliver some hard hits.
They do.
Yeah,
because the whole NCAA is penalizing these defenses for delivering hard hits, and even like these nasty hits.
Well, they're not penalizing hard hits. So what they're doing is they're calling targeting on all of them, because any of those type plays you can call targeting on it. I mean, nobody knows what targeting is.
It's stupid.
It's different every game.
I don't think targeting is a stupid rule. I think maybe they go a little bit too far with it sometime.
I think they should change the targeting rule to like maybe adjust the way they give it. Like maybe like a limit to like how many times you get called for targeting. Like once you get a card, 2 you get strike your out.
Yeah, we've talked about this. They say that they can't legislate intent, but they can. I mean, they do it in every other sport. So
It's not about hard. It's not about hard hits. It's about hits with the crown of the helmet.
That's right.
Yeah, but
Or it's the head of it.
almost every hard hit involves some sort of helmet contact to the upper body.
Right,
So
yeah, you got to keep your head up instead of dipping it down.
Right.
Guess what? Even if you lead with your shoulder and make contact with your shoulder, guess what's going to make contact as well? Your fucking helmets.
Yeah.
And there's nothing anybody can do about that.
Right, but they usually won't call it if he leads with the shoulder. Then they usually
it's ridiculous. If the offense, if it's a running back or even a receiver for that matter, and they lower their head, what are you supposed to do? Just take it in the stomach then? No, you're going to lower it down too to get down where they are so you can tackle them. Otherwise, you're going to get it run over.
Yeah.
They need to refine the rule. They need to refine.
Well, I don't even know how you do that.
No, it needs to disappear yesterday.
How do you refine the rule? I'd like to know that because nobody can give me an answer to that.
Like what I said, you just give them a warning, and then after the warning, you knock them out of the game.
And Pete, you say they legislate intent in every other sport. Well, no, they don't, because last time I checked, not a single fucking referee in any sport is a mind reader.
Soccer.
They do it in soccer. They do it in basketball.
The referees still are not mind readers.
But they
shit on all that.
They do it.
Guy with the pitch on purpose or not? So they do it in baseball too.
They give technical fouls, flagrant fouls in basketball. They give yellow and red cards in soccer.
I'm not saying the rules don't exist. I'm calling them bullshit because they're not mind readers.
Well,
I agree with Slim personally.
it's still a better option than what we have now, where it's just a blanket thing where every targeting call is treated the same when they're not all the same.
No, I think the much better. Well, there's 2 better options. Number 1, just stop throwing people out of fucking games, and number 2, the rule needs to disappear yesterday.
Well,
All right. Well, Slim, I'll catch you later, and hey, maybe we'll see you in the playoffs.
Hopefully so.
And if we do, I'll be watching that game 100%.
all right, Caden.
Go Bucks, and Clemson sucks.
Yeah, he set a record today. I let him on for shit.
Yeah, that was
A long time.
Where do you find these people, Pete?
I didn't find him. He found me.
Yeah. Yeah, for targeting, man, I just think you should have the rule where it's like you get a card or something like that, a warning, and then the second time you're out. That's it. That's all that should be done.
Well, no, I don't think. I listen. There's very few things that I say anybody should be thrown out of a football game for.
I mean, they don't have it in the
Spitting
NFL.
on opponents makes sense. We've had some spitting on opponents this year.
Well,
Yeah.
once again, like I said, there are a few things, and that one of those is up there.
And
you
that,
know, so,
yeah, do you see the Virginia player that got kicked out of the Clemson game?
Yeah, he lost his fucking mind. Yeah.
Yeah. He, now talk about a dirty play. He actually tried to break that guy's leg.
Yeah.
yeah.
Walker Parks.
He claims he got kicked in the head by the offensive lineman. What happened was, if there's a replay of it, for anybody who's seen it, he was he was taking a step and he looked down, and it was too late. He didn't kick him. He was trying to get back to the line, and he did step on him. But the guy took it as an intentional thing and got mad.
Yeah.
So, anyway, he lost his mind, dude. Do you see him on the sideline?
Yeah, he was.
They basically had to drag him off the field and put him in a straitjacket.
Yeah.
But yeah, something like that.
Was it Florida State where they broke out in a fight on the sideline? That happened to somebody Saturday.
Yeah.
In
The
chat,
team
they say
started
it's
fighting.
And the chat says it's
Florida
USF.
State was Friday.
Chat says it's USF.
That's right. It was USF. Yeah.
Who were they playing against?
I said it was 2 teammates fighting each other.
Teammates fighting each other. That's even funnier.
Yeah, it was two teammates on the sideline fighting each other. Yeah.
Hold me back.
Did they square up?
Hold me back.
Did they square up? Was it like a proper fight? Or they just
Well, I mean, it's like you would imagine a sideline fight would be. Somebody threw a punch at somebody wearing a helmet, which is idiocy of the highest order to begin with. Yeah. But I mean, no more than maybe each guy got off a swing and then everybody grabbed them.
Yeah. Although I will say this, Slim, I didn't watch this game in the Chiefs-Niners game yesterday, but I saw a replay of it. Now, Trent Williams took a swing and hit a Chiefs player in the helmet.
He hit him. The Chiefs fan hit him.
Right. Now, I would say it's stupid to throw a punch at a guy with a helmet on, but if you're Trent Williams, that shit probably still will fuck you up.
Trent Williams fucked his ass up.
You know how they'll show like a couple little highlights during a game right before they go to commercial, like a touchdown play or something?
Yeah.
They showed it in that little highlight clip. They showed it during the Miami and Louisville game. A Louisville player just like open palm hit a Miami player in the side of the helmet. One of the wide receivers did it to a corner. And I'm like, where's the public outcry for this, for the refs not throwing a fucking flag?
It should be a flag.
Should be, yeah.
I would agree.
The best one ever was whenever Myles Garrett hit what's-his-face with a helmet.
Oh, yeah. Mason Rudolph.
Rudolph.
Oh, yeah, that was epic. He deserved it, though. He hit him right in the gooch.
Well.
Oh, Miami did that. God, I cannot remember the player that did it. But, I mean, everybody's seen the clip of the Miami FIU fight where the player come in swinging his helmet.
Yeah. I remember that.
Right, you mean Myles Garrett, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Myles Garrett. Well, that guy deserved it because Mason Rudolph hit him right in the gooch.
Yeah, he hit Mason Rudolph with his own helmet.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see the? I meant to bring this up earlier, Felicia, and maybe the rest of you too. Did you see what Nate Wiggins said about the NIL at Clemson?
No, what did he say?
So he was on some podcast or a radio show or something, and they asked him about the NIL at Clemson, and did he ever consider leaving Clemson to go get a better deal somewhere else? And he goes, yeah. He said after I think it was after his sophomore year, he said, I told my parents I'm leaving because I want to, he's getting NIL offers from other schools. And he had his agent call Dabo Swinney and say, Nate's leaving unless you give him X amount of dollars. And they gave it to him. He claims they gave it to him. That's why he stayed.
Oh,
yeah.
That sounds very un-Dabo-like. I would have thought that Dabo would have let him walk.
He claims they paid him and he stayed.
Yeah, okay. Good.
Yeah.
Dabo called someone in the collective and they got it done. It's not like this is happening at every single fucking school in the country.
I know.
UNLV, for fuck's sake.
I'm saying that sounds very un-Dabo-ish.
Well, that's because you guys believe everything you read on Twitter that Dabo hates the NIL when we've been telling you for all this time that he doesn't.
He hates the transfer portal.
He doesn't hate the transfer portal. He just thinks that these guys aren't good enough. He would rather recruit.
Hey, look.
And hey, everyone was saying we should have got a fucking receiver.
EPN wasn't good enough.
The two receivers that we got this year out of high school are pretty fucking good, aren't
Look
they?
at all these teams with the coaches on the hot seat. Mike Norvell, Brent Venables, Lincoln Riley, Neil Brown. What do they all have in common? They built their team through the transfer portal. Now they're all losing, about to get fired. Guess who's not about to get fired? Dabo.
Georgia used the transfer portal.
Yeah, but
we understand that. Georgia is.
They use the transfer portal differently than those four teams I just named, though.
But they still used it.
I didn't say. Nobody said that you're missing what I'm saying here.
I understand they used it a massive amount, but what I'm saying, the point about thing is, what I'm trying to say is Georgia still used the transfer portal.
Right. Listen, Clemson should use the transfer portal, but not build our team through the transfer portal. I think the way that teams like Georgia and Ohio State and Texas use the transfer portal is smart.
Yeah,
right, exactly. Where they fill voids, not build a roster. That's right.
We've got some wide receivers through the portal. We got a running back through the portal, and that's about it. So
we got London Humphreys. We got. Go ahead.
Your point is moot, but Jared and Uncle Lou, every team except for Army, Navy, and Clemson used the transfer portal. So it doesn't matter. But so there's eight teams ranked ahead of Clemson that did use the portal, and then there's 120 behind Clemson that did use the transfer portal also. So
you're saying that it doesn't matter, or
I didn't say it didn't matter.
It's not the end all be all, right? When Clemson wins, it's not because we
Look,
didn't use the
you
portal
guys
when he
all
moved.
said that Dabo was done and he couldn't win anymore. And now that they're winning, you don't know what to do. It's just all there is to it.
I didn't. No, I wasn't on that boat. No.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
But you need some transfer portal players. You don't need all of them. You need some so you can get over the hump.
We could have used a couple, and he offered a couple. He offered a couple offensive linemen. We didn't get them. I hope that we get 2 to 3 transfers this offseason. I hope that.
Well,
I hope that we get 2 to 3 transfers that we can use this
I
offseason.
transfer portal. I just don't think he's going to do it.
He will do it if
He offered players out of the transfer portal. He hasn't said I'm not taking any transfers. He never once said that.
If he does, I'll tell you I was wrong. If he does, I'll come back on here. I'll tell you.
Well, he's going to have to eventually. I mean, there's no.
This past season, he offered people.
Yeah, we lost. Here's the thing: the offensive lineman that we offered that went to Georgia Tech, that was an NIL thing. The guy wanted the guaranteed NIL deal before he committed anywhere. Dabo says we don't do that here. You come here, then we work on getting you an NIL deal, not the other way around. Well, Georgia Tech said we'll give you a guarantee, and so he went there. But so he has a different approach to using the transfer portal, but he's not opposed to using it.
Yeah, I got you. I just hope he. Go ahead.
They might get one. They might have to get a quarterback out of the transfer portal this year.
Yeah, you definitely will need a quarterback, just like Georgia will need a quarterback. God, I do not like Carson Beck. I just can't stand him. He's the reason why we could have been up fucking, a couple of more 2 or 3 touchdowns if he wouldn't have thrown some picks.
And now, wait a minute. You Georgia fans need to stop. There are way worse quarterbacks in college football than Carson Beck.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's on the receivers, too, for dropping them. But he threw at least 3 or 4 picks. And I'm like, God. And then the other game.
Well, and you're also throwing the ball more than you've ever thrown it before, which equals what? We all know it. More picks.
Exactly. That's why he doesn't need to be throwing it. They should be running the ball, what they do best. And they look good.
I don't know that running the ball is what you do best. I'm not saying your running backs are bad by any stretch of the imagination, but you don't have a Sony Michel there. You don't have a Nick Chubb there.
Yeah, we don't have a Todd Gurley. We don't have who else?
Now Etienne's good. Nate Frazier's good, but they're not.
Yeah. So here's where I'll defend Georgia on that, because we hear the same thing about Clemson. We don't have Deshaun Watson. You don't have a Trevor Lawrence. You don't have a Sammy Watkins. I mean, well, those are generational players. I mean, you don't just replace generational players with generational players every year. That's not even possible.
Oh well, and I'm not saying you do, but what I'm saying is because you don't have that level of running back, you can't rely on the running game the way you did with those guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of running backs I can name: Kenny McIntosh, James Cook, who else? Todd Gurley,
Keith Marshall.
That kid that was at Philly. Now he's with Chicago. I can't remember his name to save my life.
Was this past week's game? Was that Etienne's best game of the season? It had to have been, right?
Yes, I believe that was the best run of his life. Yeah, probably had the best run game. Yeah.
And we kind of had the same thing that against Louisville. We finally got to see the Damian Martinez that we were seeing in the Pac-12.
I was very impressed with that run game. Is really what kept us going because we could play off the pass action, which really wasn't much, but the run game kept us going, kept us getting into territory, into their territory and scoring, and then on top of them making some mistakes, scoring off of their turnovers and fumbles. Obviously.
Now, Pete, why do you say you think we might need a transfer quarterback? Because Cade's going pro?
No. Well, I think he's staying. That's the reason we just lost. Now, here's what I'll say about this. The Clemson fans are all up in arms about we had a guy that was crystal balled to Clemson, and he didn't come to Clemson. He's a 3-star quarterback.
Oh, there was one kid who decommitted.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He's a 3-star quarterback, but the reason they believe that he decommitted is because they believe that Cade Klubnik is coming back. Yeah. But we don't have a quarterback in this cycle, and I think Vizina's going to leave probably after this year if Cade Klubnik comes back. I can't see him sitting on a bench again.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
I mean, I think there's more than an 80% chance that Vizina doesn't stick around if Cade Klubnik does.
Was Vizina the backup or the third stringer?
He's the backup.
Yeah, he was a 5-star quarterback. He was a 5-star recruit as well, and he's been there 2 years and hasn't played except in mop-up duty.
Yeah. So in that situation, yeah, we're going to have to. I mean, if we don't sign one in this class that's legitimate, then we're going to have to go find one somewhere else. I mean.
Yeah, because I tend to agree with the recruiting philosophy that you need a quarterback in every class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, they asked Dabo about it. Dabo said, he said, well, this is nothing new. He said, sometimes this happens. He said, as a matter of fact, and I forget the name of the guy who decommitted from Clemson. He was a 4 or 5-star quarterback. And then they went out and got Cade Klubnik. He said, that's how Klubnik ended up here because somebody else decommitted. So
right, yeah.
But
I'm sure we're going to sign somebody else in the void that this guy has left. Yeah.
But I'm not crying in my Cheerios about losing a 3-star quarterback commit. I mean,
right.
Yeah, you want a 4-star or a 5-star.
Hey, man, you might have just lost the next Mac Jones.
Maybe.
You know.
Who knows?
Could be.
Yeah, you may have lost the next Stetson Bennett. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But he was a walk-on.
But this might be the first time that we've ever seen Dabo's back against the wall. If they don't sign a quarterback in this class, his back's going to be up against the wall where he's going to be put in a tough situation where he might actually have to really aggressively go after a quarterback in the transfer portal.
Okay.
Which is fine.
Yeah, and we may be in the.
Good.
He's about to say that Miami might be in the same boat, I think.
Oh, right, yeah. And you know what, Pete? I think that if we find ourselves in that situation, what do you think Dabo would do?
What do you mean?
If I think Klubnik is going to stay, right?
Yeah.
But if Vizina transfers out, it seems possible that Dabo might go ahead and go get a quarterback with, I don't know, a year or two of eligibility left.
Oh, yeah, I think it's very likely. I think he might have to. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. And I think if he has to, he's going to do it.
Well, here's the thing. He can offer what he wants, but if he sticks to the philosophy about because most of these transfers, if they're looking to go to a big school like Clemson or, a big program, not a big school, you know what I mean? Then they're looking for that paycheck, and Dabo's he's not going to guarantee anything. So, they're more likely to go to a Tennessee or a Texas or whoever, a Miami, maybe even.
Or Georgia.
I think if he's in that situation where he has to, he'll do it. I mean, he's not going to give him $8 million like Tennessee did or whatever, but I mean,
right.
He'll get his money.
Yeah, I got a phone call. That was my bad. I was saying Miami may be in the same position next year. Now, I don't know if he'll go with a transfer. He may just try and get through one season like Tennessee did with Joe Milton with who they've got. But we've got, a 4-star in this class and a 4-star in the next. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was going off topic. Our quarterback play, we really don't have a good quarterback, in my opinion, because Gunnar Stockton, I've seen him play in second half games where we finish out, and I'm not impressed with his play. Like, he throws the ball too hard, and he runs, he tries to do the pass option where he just runs out, circles back, and then throws. And I'm like, this guy's going to get killed. And he's going to be a running quarterback, and he's not going to be an accurate thrower. So I'm thinking we better get a quarterback either signed or in the transfer portal because we don't have a good quarterback for next year.
I hear there's a guy in Tallahassee that's probably going to be available.
Well, I mean, we thought the same thing about.
Can you imagine DJ at Georgia? That'd be hilarious.
Right. Well,
DJ Lagway looked good against Kentucky.
I'm talking about DJ. I'm not talking about DJ Lagway. I'm talking about the other DJ in Florida. DJU.
DJ Lagway ain't looking too bad. I mean, I hate to see Graham Mertz go down like that.
We know not to take garbage like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we said the same thing about Carson Beck when he was the backup behind Stetson Bennett. We weren't very impressed with him either. So, I mean, you're never really going to be impressed.
What are the chances that Beck comes back? He's going to come back, isn't he?
I would save judgment on Gunnar Stockton until we actually see him play as the starter.
Well, what about Beck?
No, no, he's gone.
How do you know?
He's going to be throwing picks in the NFL.
Isn't this his last year of eligibility?
It is?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No,
He's
it's
only
not.
played for 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, he started for 2 years. This is actually his fifth year at Georgia.
Well, yes, but because he's only played for 2 years and he still has eligibility.
And he also gets another. He also gets another bonus year from 2020.
Yes,
Yeah.
he does. Yeah, this is his fifth year. So,
Which look at Tweedledum from Utah. I mean, he's fixing. He's coming back next year.
I mean,
Yeah.
all depends on how many games he played in 2021 or not. I can't remember if he only appeared in 4 games.
Yeah, he's a redshirt senior, so he's got another year, right?
Because anyone who's a fifth-year guy's got another year because 2020 doesn't.
I don't know if I want to see Carson Beck for another year. I want to see somebody better.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I'm Beck, I'm coming back for another year. I mean, this isn't the best year. I mean, I know Georgia's winning and they're good, but statistically, he's not looking good.
No, he wouldn't make the draft. He wouldn't go the first round because he's throwing so many picks.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, he's still got a first-round grade right now.
He
It'll
does.
depend on what the grade is at the end of the year.
I think based off of the guys that are going to the NFL draft this year, Beck would either be a first round or an early second round pick.
He might make more money in NIL at Georgia next year than he would in the NFL.
I don't-
Not if he's drafted in the first 40 picks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I think y'all are looking at his pick way too high. I think he's like a late second rounder or third rounder.
that's what I'm saying.
Just
Have we officially ended the conversation about Nico? I'm about to leave you being the next generational quarterback.
yeah, he's a bust.
No, Slim, he's a freshman. Stop it.
yeah.
I don't think he's a bust.
He's not a bust. No.
I don't have faith in this guy because he makes too many mistakes.
He's a freshman.
Well, he's a first year starter. He's going to.
Yeah, focus your eyes at Clemson, South Carolina. There's a good example of that there.
But I hear all
Yeah.
these Tennessee
Oh,
fans. I hear all these Tennessee fans talking shit because they beat Alabama and they look at us in Texas and they want to talk all that shit.
Well, they didn't
because-
beat Alabama because of Nico.
No,
Yeah,
but
they beat Alabama because of their defense.
Yeah, and their running game, Sampson or whatever his
Right.
name is.
Yeah, Samson's
Don't
good.
worry, you guys are gonna kick the shit out of Tennessee anyway, so it's fine.
yeah, I
Yeah,
would hope so
you're gonna.
if it didn't happen. But then again, Carson Beck's throwing picks, so you never know.
I don't think Tennessee's gonna beat Georgia this year.
If we show up with the defense like we did this past Saturday, I mean, it's very possible we beat them by a lot.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. I think the playoffs are definitely going to be interesting because we talked about this before, Pete. But Texas didn't have a loss, much less a 2-score loss like they did. Nobody looks unbeatable. Nobody.
Yeah,
Nobody.
I agree.
nobody.
You know what sucks? That nobody in the Big Ten that are really big name opponents like Penn State, Ohio State, Indiana, they don't play each other. Except, well, Ohio State and Penn State play each other, but I don't think Oregon-
Indiana plays Ohio State too.
Yeah, I said that, but I don't think Wisconsin plays Oregon or Wisconsin
Wisconsin's
plays.
not very good.
Yeah, Wisconsin's not even in the conversation.
I
Yeah.
know, but still, they played fucking great. That defense, man.
Dude, everybody was all high on Luke Fickell, man, and so far, he ain't been it.
He's laughing all the way to the bank.
No, I
Yeah,
think
well, and I'm not closing the book on him or anything. I think
Right.
it's still early on in his time there.
yeah.
What do you think? You think Wisconsin's going to upset Ohio State? Because I do.
Probably
Yeah.
not.
No,
Absolutely not.
no.
Penn State could. Wisconsin will
Well,
not.
I mean, in my preseason predictions, I had Penn State losing to Wisconsin and Ohio State. So
because they just. I mean, I know Indiana isn't not the best team, but I mean they're a decent team, and the way Wisconsin just beat them, I just think they could beat.
Indiana's undefeated.
They didn't beat Indiana. Indiana's undefeated. What are you talking about?
Bad. I'm sorry. Nebraska. Forgive me. Nebraska. The way they beat them.
And Nebraska, kind of like Miami, had been playing with fire thus far this season.
Who beat Nebraska?
Indiana did.
Indiana did.
Yeah, not Wisconsin. He's trying to talk up Wisconsin.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about with Wisconsin. Wisconsin's not they're not winning the Big Ten, and they're not going to the playoffs.
No, their best quarterback was Tyler Van Dyke, and he's in a boot on the sideline.
Yeah. Well, they seem to be playing better with the other guy, though. So
it does seem that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, they've just
Well, now we're just like giving participation trophy. Are you shining up a turd here? Wisconsin's not very good.
I was saying that the last two games they've played, they've looked really good. I mean, they've just absolutely obliterated Purdue and Rutgers.
Well, Purdue's awful.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get if you say can Wisconsin upset Ohio State, I guess maybe it's. I mean, anything can happen, but.
I just still think Ohio State's due a loss. I just think they're due a loss, at least one or two losses.
Yeah, most likely.
Ohio State usually doesn't lose a lot of games in the regular season.
Yeah.
I think
they lost one.
That's why I couldn't understand the Ryan Day on the hot seat talk that I was hearing from Ohio State fans because
they're just delusional.
Well, that's just stupid.
Name me a season that guy hasn't won at least 11 games.
Yeah, his
record is like 61-8.
He averages 11 to 12 wins a year when you add in the postseason. They think they're going to go out there and get fucking John Gruden or something. I don't know who they think they're going to get.
The name I kept hearing was Grable, Mike Grable.
Who?
Yeah, but they're not going to do that. Mike Vrabel's going to get another NFL job.
No, they said that's why Mike Grable took a 1-year deal with the Browns because he was setting it up to be Ohio State's coach.
I don't reckon that's going to happen.
I don't either, but once again, I'm just passing along information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet he gets a job in the NFL again.
Are you talking about the Titans coach?
Yes.
Titans coach.
Former Titans coach, yes.
Yeah, well, these are the same people that for some reason think Will Howard is a better quarterback than McCord.
Yeah. McCord actually turned out to be a good quarterback, and it turns out that Will Howard's just a system quarterback.
Yeah, I think they're.
Yeah.
Well, I said last year Kyle McCord was not their problem.
I don't think Will Howard's bad though. I don't know why everyone's.
Will Howard's a system quarterback. That's all he is.
Well, I'm not saying he's bad, but he definitely he won the dunce cap award.
I mean, he made a dumb decision, but that's not. I mean, he played great in that game. I mean, look, Ohio State should have won that game. Now, I'm not even putting it on Will Howard. He should have never been put in that situation to begin with.
That's true, man.
Well, I agree. A lot of that is on Chip Kelly.
They're throwing the ball.
Yeah.
But did Chip Kelly really call that, or was that Ryan Day?
No, Chip Kelly calls the plays.
I know, but still, you never know. It's possible Ryan Day could have made a call. You never know.
I mean, I guess you never know, but I mean, Chip Kelly's the play caller, so I don't know why they would change it for one play.
I mean, would anybody not expect Chip Kelly to call a pass play? I mean,
yeah, exactly. That's how I know Chip Kelly is the one that called that play because that's exactly some dumb shit that he would do.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was not high on the Chip Kelly hire in the offseason at all. I don't like him.
I don't know. I think he's a good coordinator. I wouldn't want him as a head coach, but
I don't know. I want him as a coordinator. And the Oregon game is why.
Yeah. All right. Well, you have a good argument there.
Yeah, Ohio State, in my opinion, I just don't think they're tough enough to beat. Like, if they make it to if they're able to get into the playoffs, like who do you think they would beat? Like really, honestly, who do you think they would beat if it were
They're
to
talented enough to beat anybody.
Yeah, they're good enough to beat anybody.
I mean,
Jeremy
year
Garrison.
before last, they were a field goal away from beating Georgia.
Jeremy Garrison says Ryan Day is leaving for the NFL, which by the way, we hear that every year. And Chip Kelly's going to be the next head coach at Ohio State. Ryan Day would be a complete total fool to leave on his own accord from Ohio State. It's one of the top 3 jobs in the country.
He would be.
Now, I would agree with it if you said that in the offseason, Lincoln Riley jets to the NFL. I would go with that.
Yeah, that's more believable because they're not any good.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be a coach. He'd be a coordinator. He wouldn't be a head coach.
Oh, they could. Oh, yeah. Believe me. I mean, what's his face? The Arizona hired? Cliff Kingsbury got a job. If they can hire Cliff Kingsbury, they'll hire Lincoln Riley in a heartbeat.
I know because
Good luck to whoever hires his ass.
yeah, he was like a 500 coach at
Texas Tech, yeah.
Although you know what he's doing now.
what?
He's the offensive coordinator for Washington for the Commanders, and he's killing it.
Yeah, he's a great coordinator.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Lincoln Riley.
Would be back in college.
I could see the Panthers doing some dumb shit and going and hiring Lincoln Riley as a head coach.
They could hire Mike Vrabel.
Giving him $80 million a year, whatever the fuck.
Well,
Yeah.
probably better
Yeah.
than what you.
Hey, man, I'm just glad Lincoln Riley's alive. The president told me he was dead.
That was Lincoln Riley, but yeah.
I know.
I'll tell you this: if Ohio State makes it to the playoffs, they're not beating the SEC team, in my opinion. I don't think because they always lose to the SEC.
Yeah, I know that's a fun talking point and everything. It would depend on who they're matched up against and all that. Ohio State's team is just as talented as any team in the SEC, if not more.
Yeah. Look at their record against the SEC.
I know all that.
And they lose to Clemson too, don't they?
Oh yes, they do.
Yeah, well, 80% of the time they do. Exactly 80% of the time.
There was 100 until they beat us that one time. I mean, they do have the win in the last game against us, but they lost the first 4.
Yeah, they're screwed 6-4 to Sunday. The only
fuck
question
Ohio
that we
State.
have is
None of us here likes Ohio State. There's no question about that.
yeah, they're overrated in my opinion.
No, they're not overrated. What do you think they should?
In big games, they're overrated. They look good, but they're overrated in big games to me.
In big games, right?
Well, again, they were one boneheaded play call away from beating Oregon on the road. So, I mean,
Yeah, they were one missed field goal away from a national title in 21 or 2, whichever year that was. 22.
22.
So, I mean, I think they match up fairly well.
I think so too. I can't think of a team right now, if they played this against Ohio State this weekend, that Ohio State would be an underdog to. Maybe Oregon because they just lost to them, but probably not even them.
I bet you if they played Oregon again, they'd be favored.
Probably.
If they played them in Columbus, they'd definitely
be favored in Columbus. Yeah. Look at the top teams. They'd probably be favored by at least a little bit over Georgia. They'd probably be favored by at least a little bit over Texas. They'd probably be favored a little bit. Over Oregon.
I would put them as a favorite over Miami.
Oh, they would
Absolutely.
be.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
So, anyway, we'll all find out together. I hope as much as the next Ohio State hater that they fucking choke on a chicken bone like they normally do, but they're good.
It's called execution. They don't know what it's like to execute in big moments.
Well, I'm in favor of their execution. Okay.
Well, listen, you have one more national title than them in the last 50 years. Simmer down.
Who?
Georgia.
Oh, right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, no, they don't. They have the same number.
No, but Georgia has 3 in the last 50 years, and Ohio State has 2.
Yeah.
So they won one in like the 50s. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
The 40s.
Yeah, we won.
And then the 80s, the 40s, 80s, and right now in the 2020s. Yeah.
42, 80, 21.
The 40s.
I just think it's funny that a Georgia fan is saying that somebody chokes in big games.
Yeah.
Well, the only ones we took to is Alabama.
Choking's choking.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
I mean, you realize that right now Josh Heupel has a better record against Alabama than Kirby Smart does.
Yes, I know that. I know our former coach Mark Rick has a better record at Alabama against Alabama than Kirby Smart does. I know that.
Okay, well, all that is a talking point, just like saying Ohio State loses big games. It's a great talking point. But that's about all it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think Dabo Swinney's got more wins against Alabama than Kirby Smart does.
Yep,
That is a fact, sir.
Yeah.
Win Alabama.
But that doesn't mean anything.
I think Dabo Swinney probably has the second best record against Nick Saban.
2-2, right? Dabo's 2-2 against Saban.
Yeah. I think Urban Meyer's got the best record against him.
He's 1-0, so
100%.
No, Urban Meyer's 2-1, 3-1 against Saban.
Is he?
Like that.
Coached against him when? Wait a minute.
When Meyer was at Florida.
Oh, you're including Florida against LSU.
Years at Alabama.
He's including.
And then when Meyer was at Ohio State.
Okay, so yeah. Okay.
Is Urban Meyer coming back?
Urban Meyer's not coming
that
back.
Would get him off of that big noon kickoff set is Notre Dame, and I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, but the problem is they're a fucking academy school, and I know y'all been talking. Some of y'all have been talking about how Notre Dame should get in over some of these guys, but they've lost to a school that nobody even knows.
Yeah, but that's a loss. That's one loss.
Yeah,
and actually, none of us said that they should get in. We said they will get in.
Well, if they're 11-1,
If they're 11-1, they should get in.
Yes.
Yeah, and if they're 10-2, they will get in.
Right.
I have an argument to beg to differ.
Well, yes, there's arguments that can be made. We're just saying that's what the committee.
Well, first of all, if they finish 11-1, here's the real question. Forget about the record and who they lost to. If they run the table after that loss to NIU, are they one of the best 12 teams in the country or not?
Well, if they were in a conference, I would say otherwise.
Well, that doesn't matter. Are they one of the best 12 teams in the country or not? That's all that matters.
It's about worse than losing to the SEC, is my opinion. But if they were in a conference, I would say yes, but no.
Well, year over year, NIU is a better football team than Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Not only that, and look, Notre Dame plays almost exclusively Power 5 teams plus Army and Navy. It's not like they're playing NIU every week.
Right.
They play 5 ACC teams. They play fucking USC every year. They play a bunch of Big Ten teams, and then they play,
Navy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I just still think that they don't get in because, just like what I said, I mean, they're not in a conference and they have a one-loss team.
That doesn't matter.
Not even a group of 5.
What that means is that they can't be a top 4 seed. Their ceiling, even if they go undefeated, is the number 5 seed because the top 4 seeds go to conference champions. And so in the current playoff era, Notre Dame's absolute ceiling, even if they go undefeated and are ranked number 1, is the number 5 seed. That's true.
Which they agreed to, by the way.
Say again?
I said they agreed to, by the way.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I think they need to join a conference. Y'all should have made them join a conference when they didn't have nowhere to go.
Can't make them
any games for COVID.
You can't make them. No, I agree. I agree. They should have strong armed them and put some pressure on them to do it. But there's no such thing as making them do anything.
Yeah, you can. Like,
no.
They've been in the ACC and everything except for football for a while now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in the ACC for basketball and baseball and a whole bunch of other shit.
Yeah, and the Big Ten and hockey.
Well, yeah, because we don't have hockey. Yeah, but
right.
Hey, we're getting hockey. Miami just won that D3 national championship. Put some respect on it.
Yeah, hey, let's go. I'm down.
Hey, man, for an infant hockey program, I'll take it.
And the fucking Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup, didn't they?
Hey, man, and the Lightning twice before that. Fucking state of Florida's dominating in hockey, baby.
Yeah, and Canada hadn't won one in 30 fucking years.
Guys, I got to go.
Oh, that sucks. That means I got to go cut the yard.
Oh,
That means I gotta go to bed. Shit.
Same.
yes. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank all of you.
Yes, sir.
Good one today.
Yes.
We didn't fight too much.
No. No. All right. Yeah, I got to go for real. All right. See you guys later. Thanks for coming on.
All right,
Yeah,
come
sure.
on.
All right. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for me as well. Tune in tonight at 10 p.m. on Uncle Lou's channel. We're going to go over these betting lines for this week. There's some good games. I got to sit down and figure out my picks. Just skimming through some of the picks during the show, there's not that many as far as a betting standpoint that I feel too comfortable about, honestly. But nonetheless, we'll go over that and tell you how to win some money or even lose some money. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your Monday. See you tonight.